back to the Dragon's Den. This is your host, SinDragonLord, and I'm also representing the Global Pokemon Society with this video as the future commissioner. The former commissioner, the Ryan from the Boston Braviaries, is taking a bit of a hiatus, and I will be taking over during his absence. So in the spirit of that, I decided during the off season we'd host a little side tournament. I'm dubbing it the Gym Leader Tournament. It's basically monotype with extra steps. I'll explain that here in a bit. But first, I would like to introduce the panel that I have with me to rank these teams. We have 16. The only two teams that are not being, or the only two types that are not being represented are Ice and Bug. Everything else has a coach and a representative. So let's start with a longtime friend of the channel. You probably know him already. He is Mr. Vlad the Man, aka the Chicago Slow King. Say hi.
Hi, everyone. Welcome in.
All right, and we also have Alex from the Lavender Town Gengars. What's going on? What's good?
How's it going?
It's going. All right, so we also have another coach on here, Jules from the Seattle Shiny Sylveons. Good lord, I did not realize that was such a big tongue twister. She'll be on it. Yeah, take my time. Yep, I'm autistic. Give me a break.
A surprise guest, Kevin Stroke.
Kevin Stroke. Okay. Anyway, so she'll be joining us shortly. She's just finishing up dinner and a phone call real quick, but she'll be on shortly. So I said monotype with extra steps, and basically what I mean by that is every coach, every gym leader is allowed to pick an ace of their 6. And here's the catch. Only the ace can terrasilize, and the ace can be almost any Pokemon that you want it to be. It does not have to match your type. So sort of similar to the Scarlet and Violet games where you had like Miss Magius on an electric team. It's kind of the same vibe. So yeah, without any further ado, let's just go ahead and get started here. We're going to start off with the Alaska Alakazams. So I'll start off with Alex from the Lavender Town Gengars. What is your first initial thoughts on this team?
Oh god. This is kind of funny because like we're back here. I mean, like nobody knows that we've already done this, so
We had an audio
you
issue
know.
the first time
my
around.
opinion has changed, and now I can sound smart. And I already fucked it up.
You
Damn
are.
it.
Good job.
I'm glad I'm not the only one having a stroke here. It's fine.
So I think this team looks fun, but this team could be so much better. Okay, I like Espathra here because I love Dragbird. And I love Screamtail as a Pokemon. I think that thing is super annoying, and I love it. But God, do I hate Gallade? Why is Gallade here? Like what is it? I think this team could be better.
Well, I'll kind of answer that because I get it. Like personally, I prefer Medicham, but Gallade got a huge buff this generation with the ability Sharpness, and I've actually calced it. And because of Sharpness, Gallade actually hits harder than Pure Power Medicham with slicing moves. So it has the same speed stat as Medicham. Hits harder with said specific moves because Sharpness basically gives it a band boost. And it helps cover the dark weakness a little bit, but you also have Gardevoir that also does that. So, I mean, kind of a give and take there.
Why isn't it Urshifu?
Because, I mean, that would have to be the ace.
You're right.
Yep.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no, tragic.
Not that, please. Like don't make my team good.
Wow, that's some fucking shade.
God dang.
I'm sorry. This team looks fun. I mean, like, I understand that everybody's got their favorites, and like, not everybody's trying to drip sweat. Okay, like, I'm just trying to be like a jackass for the sake of being a jackass. But like, this team looks like a lot of fun if like you like these Pokemon. But like, it's just like matter of fact, like there are a lot of things on this team that could be better. We talked a little bit like behind the scenes about how like this team doesn't really like have the ability to remove any sort of hazard, in addition to like having like weaker picks for the sake of favoritism. I just
I'm
think
back.
that it could
Welcome.
welcome.
Sorry.
I just think
Hi.
that it could be like leaps and bounds better than what it is.
Well, I agree, and again, this was also something that was said off screen. But there, I mean, there one thing that could make this team better is just the inclusion of Indeedee, whether it be male or female, just for the psychic terrain, and also having that ghost immunity. That way, you have a free switch. But I mean, Hoopa kind of does that because it's got a massive special defense bulk, and it makes it where he has a ghost neutrality. But I definitely agree with her in this case that Indeedee here would probably bump this team up a few notches for me, but it is what it is.
I mean, like again, like, and I said it off screen too. Like, as long as everybody, like, as long as he has fun, because I know that he's like a newer coach to like the league, and like I'm so happy that he joined just to play with us. Like, that makes me so happy. And like the team definitely looks fun because like Gardevoir is one of like I love Gardevoir as a Pokemon, so like it looks like a lot of fun. But like from a sweat standpoint, it could definitely be a lot better.
All right, so where would you rank it?
That is a tropical punch high C, my man.
Hey, I love High C. All right. Uh, since Jules is back, we'll give the floor to her. What's your initial thoughts on this team?
Oh God. I just put food in my mouth. Okay. Well, you kind of already said what I kind of said off screen about the Indeedee. Some hazard control. I know they have a little bit of hazards and they have screens and stuff, but I mean, this is a bulky team, and what a lot of people are going to be looking for is kind of wearing them down,
Mhm.
getting them to switch and stuff. I really would have loved Indeedee on this. I really would have. I feel like Indeedee needs more love. And I like the typing for the psychic normal as well.
For sure.
So, oh, I definitely think this is like a C tier, and we're not ranking for fun, Alex. We're ranking for teams. Okay,
If it were Indeedee in either variant and Urshifu Dark as the ace, this would have been an A tier team easy.
There you go.
Fair. All right. Vlad, you got anything to add?
I mean, nothing else to really add to everything that's already been said. This team, individually, these Pokemon work great in a lot of different teams as it is. Glade needed that boost with his sharpness so desperately. Um, Otherwise, I mean, it's a solid team. I'd give it a C rating, high C as well.
All right. So I think we all agree about High C is where it probably should be.
Yeah.
All right. Next, we got the current commissioner, the Boston Braviaries, representing the ground typing. We're just gonna go in a line back and forth, draft style. So Jules, take the floor.
Okay, and now that I know what Komomomo does, this team is very spooky, scary skeletons. I don't really like it.
It's spooky season.
Yeah, it's definitely a Halloween team.
Can we get a group boo for the team because it's Boston's team? Boo!
Boo!
What a jerk!
This guy stinks.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
That was like high key a perfect impression, by the way.
Yeah, that was really
That was
good.
great.
I have watched so much SpongeBob; it would make people like it. It's a lot.
Anyway, I do like this team a lot. I obviously love Landorus, and Momomomo can do some damage now that I know what he's there
Mama,
for.
mama, mama, mama.
And we said it off screen, or who said it? I think Kevin did, but about Sandy Shocks and Gravity and being able to just spam EQ, that's disgusting, especially with a ground team. So,
Also
know,
got base 101 speed, so it's pretty likely that
disgusting.
gravity's going off. Yeah.
It's disgusting. That's all I have to say. A for awesome.
A
I'm
for
sure
awesome.
Kevin's very excited to play against it in this form.
Oh yeah, with the team I currently have, yeah, I'm definitely
What
excited.
could possibly go wrong?
I guess we'll find out when we get to my team what could possibly go wrong. All right, next up in line is Vlad. What do you think? What's your initial thoughts on the team?
Come on, great Pokemon. Now that I know what it does as well, skip that generation of Pokemon. Hated it, but the star of the show, Clodsire.
100%. Yep.
And there's no other way around it. Sandy Shocks, cool. Landorus, neat. Clodsire, the only Pokemon that matters on this team, truthfully.
I mean, look at that face. I mean, that is the. Imagine that being the last thing you see before you die.
Yeah, that is the face of Satan as he greets you into hell. Like that.
Why would you do that? Don't you put that evil on me, big buddy.
Nani? All right.
That being said, I'd rank it super high A. Just for now, I know it's probably going to get bumped up to S, but definitely A.
Okay.
Top of A, bare minimum.
Okay. All right, Alex. You got anything to add?
We pretty much already echoed everything that we had already said before. Minus two incredibly important things. One, nobody once talked about Mammers, and Mammers deserves an honorable nod because Mammers has been good since it was introduced to us.
I mean, don't get me
He's
wrong.
perfect in every single way, and I'm jealous that I couldn't run it. I could have aced it, but what would have been the fucking point? And the second thing I'd like to point out is that our quote hiatusing commissioner is just trying to take all of the fucking swag that he can in terms of like medals next to his name before he dips out for however long he does. And I can fucking see you, my dude. I see you at the top of A tier or at least at the bottom of S if we ever get back there. But fuck you to death. This is good, and I'll see you at some point.
Well, I'll add my 2 cents. Yeah, Jules said it earlier. The main thing that I was bringing up is that in monotype, like prior to prior Scarlet and Violet, ground type teams would run Landorus Therian with Gravity. That way, you could just spam your ground moves with absolutely zero, like way to stop it. But the other thing that was not mentioned that is also really important is Clodsire gets two really important abilities that could be run that would make it just as annoying. Um, it gets Unaware, which basically invalidates every setup sweeper and just, you know, makes it really annoying to take out. Or what I would do, the more likely option if it were me, is it also gets Water Absorb, which completely eliminates one of this team's weaknesses. And since Ice is not in here, that just means that there's far less you can actually do offensively to this team until you take out the Clodsire, which is going to be super annoying. So are we thinking A tier until we figure out some other teams and maybe put in S later?
Is there a tier for douchebags who play Clodsire? Can you create a tier?
Douchebag.
If we actually put him in S tier, and if he's alone, I'll make that special tier for him.
Bet.
He'll love that.
All right. Next we got the Chicago Scrafties and their Ghost team. Next, or the person that's going to start us off here is going to be the city namesake, the Chicago Slow Kings. Take it away, Vlad.
Hi. Scrafty, great Pokemon, perfect Pokemon all around. Truthfully, one of the best Pokemon in the game. Goldango, fantastic pick. Solos, doubles, pretty solid all around. Fluttermane, that's all I really have to say. got Annihilate, Dusclops. Dusclops is going to be fun to play. A nice stally Pokemon, really bulky with that Annihilate. And then Gallade as the ace. I like Gallade here. I like Gallade here much better than I like Gallade in the Psychic team, truthfully, because Gallade actually has a job here to cover all the bases that everything else doesn't, surprisingly enough. So yeah, I like this team. I like it overall.
Where would you rank it?
Well, I would rank the Sableye S tier, but the rest of the team, I would probably give this a very solid B tier, high B, truthfully.
Okay. We'll see if the rest of the panel agrees with you. Alex, take it away.
Wow, could you have fangirled any harder? Jeez. I'm asking Vlad if he could have fangirled any harder.
I absolutely could have. Absolutely
Okay.
could have.
All right. I mean, like, everybody likes Fluttermane because it's a Fluttermane. I get it, and I am a personal fan of Dusclops. Before Kevin gets to talk about how much he loves Annihilate, I'm going to cut him off right at the knees and tell him that it's fine. Okay, like, that is a solid ghost pick. I'm going to disagree with my friend Vlad, even though we're not currently friends, because I do not, again, like the Gallade on a team here. Once again, in a format where you could have picked Urshifu Dark Fighting. Just be your ace. I mean, like, sharpness is fine. It is just fine, but like, I feel like he's like already like put the keys into the ignition to like want to sweat, and then he like purposely nerfed himself with that Gallade. There it is. I mean, like, Goldango is obviously terrifying, but like the Gallade like kicks it down a notch for me, like hard, because I just don't. Maybe I'm just like personally biased, but I feel like again, like it could have just been better. I mean, Sableye's annoying.
This definitely sounds like a Gallade hate boner for you.
It's a pretty hateful
It's
boner.
mid. It's mid best. Okay, I don't care if it got a new ability. It's mid. Like,
Who cares about an ability that basically gives it a choice band without a choice band? Who cares?
a Gallade.
So where would you put this, Alex?
I mean, like, I would put it in B tier. Like, it's not a bad team. Like, I mean, my personal hate for Gallade aside, I guess. Like, Dusclops is like one of my personal favorites in Generations that I've gotten to run it in. Goldango is a menace. We talked off screen about how it went almost undefeated in our last league. Thank you. Annihilate is like a very good bulky fighter option, and like it has such great coverage for its own weaknesses, and like Ghost is like, if I didn't get the type that I got, I would have like really wanted Ghost, but like outside of my Gallade hate, this is a decent team. I would put that right in B tier.
Okay. All right, Jules, got anything to add?
I feel like a lot of that was either Gallade love or Gallade hate. There was no in between.
A lot of boners, love and hate.
I think it's good. I actually like. I did talk with him a little bit about this team. I also personally do not like Glade that much. I prefer Gardevoir, but I'm not saying that it's awful on this team. For now,
I
I
mean,
like
like,
the move.
fine. Like, it is fine. I'm just like, it could be better. Okay, like,
It could be yes,
in
but
between Gallade and nothing, I'll take
Alex,
Gallade.
it's my talking time.
Put him in his
my-
place.
I'm sorry.
Fucking
I
Lavender
love you.
Town. Fucking Lavender Town being fucking
It's okay, I
like.
talk too much. Keep going. I'm so sorry. Keep going.
No, I love when you talk, but I always get overtalked every time. So this is my
I'm
talking
not offended.
Stop being Kanye.
I love Fluttermane. I have it on my team. Fluttermane is a broken Pokemon for no reason. I hate it. Goldango also really good. Obviously, did really good in the season. Immune to status moves. They have screens. They have setup. They have the taunt. I like it. I do feel like it's a very standard team though, so I do believe like B is a pretty good grade for this. It's nothing special, but it's not like awful. Like it's a good standard team.
All right, and you said B as well.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm only gonna add one thing to this because you guys basically covered everything except for one thing. I wish there was a more designated hazard setter. Just because you're a ghost team, you're immune to rapid spin just by natural like circumstance, and you got Goldango, which is immune to defog. So that once you set up hazards, they would have like next to no way to get rid of them. And even if you got rid of the Goldango, and even if you were able to get up a defog, you still run the chance of Annihilate switch in and getting a Defiant boost. So like I feel like a designated hazard setter here would have been fantastic. Like Annihilate gets Stealth Rock, I think, so he could go that route if he wanted to. But like
Does.
so I mean, he could go that route if he wanted to, but I would definitely would have liked to have seen a more designated hazard setter to abuse the fact that we're gonna have a hard fucking time removing.
Who would you have put
Um,
as well with this team? Because like maybe it's just not something you thought about.
I mean
Because
that's
that's not something I thought about.
fair. Off the top of my head, I can't like. I'm trying to think of ghost types that actually get like stealth rocks and stuff. Like I know Annihilate does, but off the top of my
Yeah,
head,
that's why I'm saying. Like I feel like there really isn't a ghost type that's really a hazard setter. So I feel like, and then putting your ace as like someone who does hazards is, I feel like, kind of a waste of an ace.
yeah, definitely. Um, I'm sure we're gonna get flamed in the comments of someone being like, giving an example of a very obvious ghost type that gets hazards, but
Ow,
whatever.
ow, Ari, please, for the love of God, you hurt. You're hurting me.
All right, so I think we all agree B tier.
Yeah, B tier. Son of a get.
It's B tier.
Definitely B tier. All right. Before anyone since the coaching question is on the panel, and I'll do this for all the coaches, I'm going to give them a chance to explain their team, the choices they made before the rest of the panel will give it a rating. So, Mr. Fly the Man, go ahead, explain your team.
Yeah. So my initial thought for this team, before I found out that there were rules for this monotype tournament, was 3 Tauros, Arceus, Zacian, and Breloom as your wonderful farmer. But apparently there's a species clause and the team was unbalanced. So I ended up going.
Who is this?
Oh. Continue. Never mind
But apparently the
Kanye.
team is considered unbalanced. So I ended up going with this. This was also during a week where I ended up having the cold, food poisoning, and an ear infection all in the same week. So that was a lot of fun to deal with. But just looking at Pokemon here and there, ended up putting together Okidogi, one of the newer Pokemon from the DLC, because I do like that Toxic Chain ability. Just in general, it's a nice ability. You got Great Tusk, good Pokemon, Annihilate, Urshifu, regular Urshifu, which I actually haven't played with. I've played with Rapid Strikes. So this is going to be a little bit of a new experience. And then Lucario. I've kind of enjoyed Lucario in the past, but this will give me a chance to actually bump it up a little bit. And then Goldango is Goldango. I mean, there's really no explanation for it. Needed, at least.
All right. It is Alex's turn. You'll start us off.
Yep.
I'm gonna wait for people to tell me to talk because I don't want to be called Kanye. Thank you. Anyways,
Bruh.
it hurt me.
I love you. It's fine.
I didn't say it.
She just thought it.
Where in God's name did you think that, like, you were gonna be like, LOL Arceus fighting plate, and like that was gonna be like an okay thing for us, like in a league that doesn't play Ubers? First of all, I would have fought with you for 3 cows, but at no point did you say anything. You went dark for like a week, and then you posted this, which included precisely 0 cows, and I was sick What is that garbage? Okay, my man, and I have a goldfish. Like, what? These are irrelevant things. You took Urshifu Dark. Good for fucking you, because I'm the Dark team, and I've been screaming about it for 20 minutes, and I didn't take it. So thank you for taking it. Why did you take Lucario?
Oddly enough, actually, I kind of wanted to mess around with it as a mixed attacker, but that didn't end up working out either. So I just
Of
ended
course
up
it
keeping it
didn't.
for the.
It's the Lucario. Like, where is Zapdos here? Like, where is the Zapdos fighter?
I will say that the steel typing does help a little bit. That's all I'll say.
Sure, it sure does. Take it from me, who's used Lucario in several drafts and immediately punted it. Like, it is a Lucario. Like, it sure looks cool in the anime.
You see, the difference here is I can't punt it off of my team, so I'm dedicated to using it.
Right, no, and I mean, everybody makes choices, dude. I too am a fucking savant at making mistakes. But, like, other than that, like, this is pretty fine. I like how you picked, like, majority bulky attackers to compensate for the fact that it is fighting. And, like, admittedly, it's hard to cover for what you've got. I think your Goldango ace is smart, outside of the fact that it's just Goldango, and just very fucking good at what it does. Like, I think this is solid otherwise. I love that you took Great Tusk. Like, I love that Pokemon more than I love myself. So, like, I think that this is, like, a really high B tier, like, team, because it is still fighting, but, like, like, you did a really, like, this is okay. You like, compensate for your lack of physical attack with the Goldango. Again, like, a mixed attack Lucario is like me pitching fucking, like, I don't know, like, gay marriage to the Pope, and he might be okay with it, but, like, the rest of the Christians aren't for whatever fucking reason. Idiots. Like, let's just.
Ooh, spicy content.
Oh, this got spicy fast.
Who would have thought we could have fit gay marriage into a Pokemon tiering list?
Right.
I mean, like, not all Christians feel that way, but the ones that do because they're Christian, like, to educate yourselves, please.
So you said high B for this, Alex?
High B.
I mean, it's B tier, like, I mean, it's high because we've only done, like, 4 teams. Like,
and it could always go up or down depending on what we decide later.
I mean, like, I think it's, like, it's pretty okay. It's fine outside of my hatred for no Tauros at all. Like, I feel like Tauros Blaze would have been cool to will-list things, but, like, you picked Lucario, so here we are. Lucario over any of the cows, my man. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm so angry at it. Like, if I play you, I swear to God I'm gonna kill it. Like, you better leave it in back. It's gonna die.
Okay, wonderful. Jules, take over.
Okay. First, I do want to say before the comments come, I did look up the whole ghost whatever thing just to put Frostlass and Bramblegast. Those are the only other 2 ghost types that could possibly do
Okay, fair enough.
setups and stuff. And Bramblegast also gets Rapid Spin, so that could have been Hazard Control too.
Fair enough.
All right. That's my 2 cents about that, because it was bothering me that I didn't know. Now, this team, I actually don't know anything about Okie Dokie. I haven't done anything with the DLC or anything like that. I mean, I have the DLC, but I have not gotten that far. So, oh, Toxic Chain is cool. Yeah, it's okay team. I like it. Pretty standard. Again, kind of like the Ghost team. Obviously, Goldango is a little spooky, scary.
All right, so where would you put it?
Oh. B.
B.
It's standard. Like I said, it's like it's a pretty there's nothing that like jumps out at me that's like, oh, I'm scared of this team.
Yeah, because there's not a fucking cow here.
I feel like it'll definitely put up a fight, but I'm not like necessarily like super scared.
Said the fairy team. Okay, moving on.
Needs more cowbell.
Yeah, needs more cowbell. Not even just as a fairy team, but just as a coach in general. Because like I can have a fairy team, but I can play super shitty. Like it doesn't matter what kind of team I have.
I can't argue that.
Wow, she just went right for your jugular and like didn't stop.
I will.
That's a
I will.
coaching issue.
I will.
That was like the most polite way to say skill issue I've ever heard.
Right.
I will allow Vlad to retort as soon as I make my point, because I can't let that go. So I like this team. One of the things that I brought up when I was talking about the things to look for while tiering, one of them was like coverage for your very obvious weaknesses, and this team has the in spades. I mean, you got checks for your fairy weakness. You got answers for your psychic weakness. You also have hazard control and removal. You have Goldango to potentially, you have Goldango and Annihilate to stop removal of said hazards. And Goldango terrassalizing into a fighting type removes its ground and dark weakness. But granted, that's less important just because you have to tear it on the first turn, but still, it's something notable. I like the team. I'm not sure if I like Okie Dokie more than Sneasler, and also to I hate to give Alex too much credit, but I mean we brought up the Lucario being a steel type and it sort of having super effective coverage on fairy while also giving a fairy neutrality. But the Fire Cow could have also done that. So, I mean, an argument could have been made Lucario or Tauros to cover that role. But it is what it is now. I would agree. I would say low A, high B. So I would say if we make some changes later, I think this team should get a bump if we make that choice. But I'm fine with B. Vlad, do you have anything you want to say to your hater?
I
Are you talking
mean,
about me? Because I'm not a hater. I'm not a hater. I like the team. It's the standard.
I was very polite, in the end, after I got over my anger, as I always am.
Yeah, Alex is the hater of all teams right now.
I mean, all I'm saying is that I did win the Sword and Shield variant of this monotype tournament, so just leave it at that.
He did win the first mono
with
tournament.
Water, when you could use Swift Swim, they
with
might as well have
no, we were not allowed to use Swift Swim. We were not allowed to use Swift Swim, madam.
Because Swift Swim
on
is
top of
just
that,
what it is.
I went in with effectively 5 Pokemon because I had 4 moves that I couldn't use throughout the entire damn thing.
That's also true.
Once again, a skill issue.
Hey, I'm just saying, he won the tournament and he was handicapped, so...
He was gift-wrapped to win!
Anyway, I guess we agree B team until further notice, so I'm guessing above the Scrafties or behind the Scrafties?
Yes. Above the Scrafties.
So, unbiased.
Hit any of his Pokemon with Stab. Above the Scrafties. You can't touch them.
I'm a fist the ghost
says
types,
no.
you'll see.
There we go.
I'm a fist the ghost types, you'll see.
Alright. Next one, that was fucking hilarious. Alright, so next we got the Denver Ninetales representing grass. Jules, why don't you go ahead and start this one?
Oh god. Can anybody explain to me Ogerpon while I think of what to say about this team?
Yeah, so Ogerpon, it can hold one of 3 masks that will change its dual typing. It can be Grass Fire, Grass Water, or Grass Rock. The one we're looking at is Grass Rock. Its signature move, similar to Raging Bull, will change its type depending on the mask you're wearing. And the mask also gives you an Expert Belt boost on all your moves.
Oh, cool. That sounds kind of broken.
It's a little broken, yeah. It has another thing. It gets a stat boost when it terrassalizes, but that's not relevant because Ogerpon can't terrassalize. So.
Gotcha. Interesting. I like the Heatran Ace because of the kind of a switch in for like fire moves, if with Flash Fire. So I like that. I love Rillaboom. I've always loved my little monkey man. I also love Amoonguss. I don't know if that's based of me to say, but I love Amoonguss. I love the spores, and I hate playing against it, but I love it. Does Amoonguss get hazards?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think it does.
Who gets? Does anyone get hazards?
Heatran does. Heatran gets rocks.
Rocks.
And Rillaboom gets grassy terrain.
Well, I mean, its ability is grassy terrain, so.
Yes, but it actually got grassy glide with the TM.
I mean, but grassy terrain is not an entry hazard. It's just that.
But I mean, he gives himself priority.
That's true.
Does Meowscarada get spikes, or am I thinking of something else?
Oh, it does. Okay, and toxic spikes. Interesting. I did not know that. I don't know if you would use.
I don't know if you would either.
Meowscarada as a. Maybe that's just me, but. Oh, spiky shield. I'm just looking at all the moves on right now. I like the move pool. I like the team. I don't know what any of the Regenerator. Forgot Amoonguss gets Regenerator. That's disgusting. I hate Regenerator. I think Heatran is probably my favorite part of this team. I'm not gonna lie. I think low A. I like it.
Okay.
I like this team.
All right, Vlad. What are your thoughts?
I agree. Heatran is a very, very welcome addition to this team. Ogerpon not being allowed to terrestrialize is good. I don't know if that'll stop it in complete honesty, but that's just my personal opinion. Rillaboom getting grassy glide again, so this basically just sets up its own priority. That's pretty nice, even though grassy glide did get nerfed a little bit in this generation. It's still pretty nice that it gets it back through the TM. Among Us doing some sus things, as Among Us does. Then you got Sombrero Boy over here, Ludicolo. That's kind of how I feel about it. And Meowscarada. It can be the hazards, or it can be banded and critting everything. So that's terrifying. Where's its specs? I don't remember. I forget what its flower gift move is, special or physical, but whatever. Okay, cool. Yeah. So banded Masquerada gift. Yeah, I would agree. Low A.
Low A. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Alex. Got anything to add?
This is way better than my grass team. For the monotype. That Vlad won. But yeah, no, everybody basically covered everything that I would have said. This team is scary. I would echo like at least A tier.
Yeah, I think Vlad's the only one that brought up Ludicolo, but I mean Ludicolo helps cover a lot of this team's weak well. And when we cover the water team, if it's got any sort of like drizzle shenanigans, potentially having a way to flip the tables on it is kind of nice also. But yeah, no, I agree with everyone's sentiment. Heatran as an ace for this specific team is probably there's probably not a better one to have, to be honest. So
Heatran still has Flash Fire, right?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
That's super sleeper. Yeah, that's super.
Yeah,
that's
no,
great.
This is a nightmare for like anything that's gonna try and cover it that way. Like Jesus.
Yeah, forget a fire type weakness at that point. You got the only thing that'll touch that thing is flying, and it's not going to be doing a lot because it's bulky as shit.
What a shock that Denver has a sweaty team. Who would have guessed?
What a shock.
Not on my bingo card. Like.
All right, so are we thinking above or below Boston?
I mean, I would put it above Boston because it's like one of the few type weaknesses he has now.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, we're all in agreement. Next, we got the Driftvale City Dragapults and their flying team. Vlad, go ahead.
You got an angry Pelipper. That's pretty neat. Gyarados. I'd be more disappointed if that wasn't on the team. Uh, uh Anim Animorous? Whatever, however the fuck you say that name.
Namorous,
I
yeah.
don't know it. Yeah, I don't know anything about it. Thunderous, fantastic choice. Love that Pokemon. That Moltres is pretty neat. And Dragonite being on this team, I like it. Multi-scale Dragonite is a fun Pokemon to run, just in general. I don't think it's as strong as it used to be when multi-scale first came out, but it's definitely still a contender for one of the stronger Pokemon in the game. I like the team overall. Um, Outside of Gravity, you'd be damned to hit this thing with a ground type move, so that's great. Covers all of its bases pretty nicely too. Yeah, I like this team. It's solid. It's gonna hit hard and hit fast. I like it.
Where would you rate it?
Mm. I'd probably rate it below Boston. I don't know if I would want to put it in A tier per se.
Maybe top of B, you're thinking?
Top of B, it has the potential to move into A for sure.
All right, Alex, you got anything to add? What do you think?
I'd hate to just like make a habit of disagreeing with Vlad, but to be honest, I don't really like the Gyarados on this team at all. Let me start by saying, like, I do like this team. Like, this is a really, like, this Cole, man, coming out of nowhere, just like with these fire teams, because last season his ground team was really tight too. So, like, good for him for like stepping it up a notch. Like, I love a lot of this, but like, I feel like once again, like the Gyarados could have been like something else, like something better. I think Therian Enamorous is also interesting. Like, that's just like a Pokemon that I'm not super familiar with because I didn't play a meta of like when this was in it. So I don't have any experience with it, but just like on stats alone, like that is bulky. Like I can definitely like tell that like Cole picked that like to be like a defensive pivot or something like that. Like just on stats alone, like that thing hits like God's fist if it gets a turn with 46 speed though. Like I feel like Gyarados here is like not doing anything for him other than like intimidating or being a Gyarados. And with the options that he has, I don't think that he needed that. Like Gyarados doesn't do anything for like his rock weakness. I mean, like, I guess it's another like type advantage to it, but to be honest, like if like he's leading Pelipper and I was talking to another coach in the league, Pittsburgh, and we'll get to his team later, but like I was talking to him about like him leading Rain Pelipper solely to hit like 100% accurate hurricanes every time. Like that's really strong, especially when like a lot of those really good flying Pokemon don't have access to a lot of good special flying moves. So like I mean it, and if that's your game plan, because like he's Landorus, or I'm sorry, Thunderous, like that form for you know, uh, that's a physical. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like that form of Thunder is normally a physical Pokemon, or like am I like completely out of place?
No, you're thinking of the other one. This one's definitely a special, and it gets Volt Absorb.
Well, I mean, like that's where I was going anyways, because like he could have picked Landorus in that slot, and like it's just better. It's just better at everything the Gyarados wants to do, and it's not super effective weak to Stealth Rocks on income.
Fair. All right, so
I would definitely echo a B tier team though. Like this is very good, but like I mean like I feel like the Gyarados is going to hinder him more than help him in the long run. But I do like the Pelipper lead. I do like Dragonite for multi-scale. I know Moltres Galar is not as good in singles, but it's still a very good Pokemon. I almost picked it. Like it's very strong, and the stats on that Enamorous Therian, like you can't really scoff at it. Like it's very very bulky. So I think overall it's solid.
okay,
Yeah.
so
I actually completely forgot Thunderous in this form has Prankster as its ability. Yeah, that's suddenly a lot more terrifying. Prankster taunts are already pretty sufficient as it is, but Prankster Thunderwave.
You're thinking of the genie form.
No, I'm looking at the Therian form.
I'm pretty sure it gets Volt Absorb. Am I tripping?
I'm showing here it gets Prankster.
Like, I feel like I'm being gaslit about Thunderous right now.
Therian does have Volt Absorb. The Genie one does have Prankster.
Okay, thank you. That's what I thought.
Okay. Yeah, no, sorry. My bad. I misread that.
All right. Jules, what do you think?
Okay, so Alex kind of touched on this. Stealth Rocks is like a problem because they don't have any like defog or rapid spin, and that I hate that. Like I would have loved like a Corviknight here. Like maybe I don't know who it would replace, but like a Corviknight with like a steel flying and then defog, tailwind, something like that, a little bit bulkier, because Corviknight is a bit to trying to kill, just knowing from experience. So I definitely like B, I guess. I like the team, but I don't like that it doesn't have hazard control because Stealth Rocks just kind of, especially if you're forcing them to switch a lot.
That's fair.
Oh.
The only thing
Maybe it's just me.
No, I was actually going to mention that. I mean, Alex said it too. The Gyarados seems a little out of place since Pelipper kind of already does what Gyarados would want to do anyway. So maybe he could have replaced that Gyarados with a Corviknight with like Defog, Body Press, Iron Defense, Roost, and or something along those lines, and it would have served a physical defensive role as well as hazard removal, and that would have been a huge benefit for his team. Like I would tend to echo that. I'm still cool with a high B ranking if everyone else is.
I thought that Pelipper got defog, but it doesn't.
Nope.
Lost it apparently, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I was not
Yes.
aware of that when I was talking because I would have. Wow, okay, that's like a glaring weakness if he's got like nothing to like cover the
Yeah.
rocks out. Like I'm very perturbed by that.
All right.
Ah,
With that,
I also hope that Cole figures that out too,
does
because
Dragonite
that's
get it? Maybe like there's like some
I hope he
multi-scale
does,
Dragonites
yeah.
that are like if he's choosing to go that way, but like that's not super common. But he might like bulky Dragonite with like that support like can do it, but like that's not enough. Like he I like a defog option there for sure. Like absolutely Corv. Like I would echo that too. I would put that lower in B because of that.
lower in
Honestly,
V, yeah.
like that's like
Yeah.
like it's a singles format and like hazards are gonna run rampant on this. Like
Do you
this is
agree,
still like
Vlad?
I still think this is like a solid team, but like it's gonna suffer with rocks.
So, Vlad, do you agree with that? Lower B with that
Oh,
Stealth Rock revelation?
yeah. Once I saw that Pelipper also didn't get defog because I thought it did, yeah, that dropped the ranking for me pretty heavily. So yeah, low B tier for me.
See, this is why I'm here. I'm here for support.
All right. Now I'm gonna say this.
Dragonite doesn't get defog for the record. I'm looking at it right now. So yeah.
Does
Yeah, or rapid
anyone get on that team get defog?
I
Nope.
know that
Not a
Moltres
single
doesn't
one.
because that turned me off to it. Like for my team,
I just looked it up. I looked
no
it up.
one.
None of them get rapid spin or defog. No hazard control at all.
All right.
Well,
So my question then is: do we want it in low B or do we want to put it in like?
That is a C tier because I mean it's gonna break the multi scale. I mean like he can put heavy boots on one Pokemon, so like
It
what
would
do you do
probably
after
have to
that?
be. It would probably have to be the Dragonite.
Yeah, I mean so like that's the item on it, and
Yeah.
Ugh.
So are we thinking C like above or below the Alakazams?
I'm thinking C.
put him below
I
it.
don't want to.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
hesitant
Like
to
the
agree, but
Rocky
yeah,
is just
that's.
so huge. And if this were doubles, I would not. Like I'd keep it in B, but like it isn't. And like the rocks are gonna crush him. I think. with no way to remove them at all. Like on your flying team, like you've got like several quad weaknesses to rock. So yeah, I'm sorry, dude.
I guarantee you that he went through the exact same thought process that we did before Seattle kicked in. Like,
yeah, like all solids, and then just like never got to, hey, how do I get them? How do I just like get rid of the rocks? And you just don't.
And you know that's literally like, I'm not gonna even blame Cole for that one, because you know it that totally flew over all of our heads.
I didn't realize it. Like it is what it is. I mean, like I still do like his team. I mean, like I'm a fan of like the majority of the Pokemon on it, so like I like it. But
yeah, I thought Pelipper got defogged too still, so that's why I was like, I like this team a lot, but if nobody gets defogged, that kills it for me a little bit.
That was harsh. Yeah, that was a harsh degrade. Jesus Christ.
All right.
Hard yikes there, my dude.
All right, moving on.
Michael.
And since Lavender Town actually helped with this team, I'm gonna let him kind of do his boy here a solid and kind of explain the choices and kind of the idea of why the picks were made. Then the rest of us will rank. The rest of us will rank it.
Okay. I'd like to preface this the same way that Kevin did before for the Alakazams. My friend the Kinglers is joining to be like just a part of this. Oh. He's not a Pokemon sweat at all. You know, like he has dipped his toes into competitive Pokemon once or twice, and I told him that like the remaining types in our wheel coming, and like bribed him that he might get this. So I'm kind of happy it worked out for him that way. That being said, my fellow Pokemon colleagues, Dragon, although it is a hype type, is not easy to build. It does not really compensate for its weaknesses that well on its own. I mean, I took Cyclizar because it's a Cyclizar. That is obviously my hazard removal there, to keep them in check. I tried it. There are so many dragon flying types. I tried not to use as many, but multi-scale seemed to make the most sense to me, so I put Dragonite. Again, like a lot of dragons are crippled by like Will-O-Wisp and physical things, so I was trying to lean away from it. I made the Ace Baxcalibur because it's immune to Will-O-Wisp, and I can Terra out of its weakness. I didn't really consider like an outside like Pokemon like to be the ace to like to help this team like come together, because I honestly couldn't think of anything. Like Dragon is weak to Fairy and Ice, and like if I'm like a fighting Pokemon to combat the Ice weakness, then I'm still weak to Fairy, and if I'm Steel, then like I'm weak to like a million other things, and it's fine. Hisuian Gudra is here because it is thick. It has large thighs, and not many dragons do, and it's better than Dragolgy, and I'll fight anyone to the death on that. The thing's never going on a dragon team that I make. Garchomp is a Garchomp, and I feel like I don't think I need to justify that to anybody on any team. The Walking Wake is just a T-Rex Suicune. I think that thing is badass, but I also think that it's a little bit bulkier than like some of my other special attack sweeping options. So if I chose to run it that way, but yeah, that's basically what I did.
All right. Okay, who did I start with last time? Did I start with you, Vlad, last round?
Probably.
All right. Well, Alex, just go ahead. You helped build the team, but how would you rank this? Like,
I mean, ice isn't really like a factor that like I had to account for, so like I was spared that. And like when I built, like there's not really much I can do against Fairy, and I wasn't gonna over prep for one team. No offense, bestie. Like your team is obviously like hugely threatening for this. If I were to play against it, like like with my team, like I'm kind of worried about it because like I made a point to like look for like bulkier options that like could get one shot in certain scenarios, but like overall, like might survive like a choice specs hit from somebody who's trying to sweep with it and come back on the back end. I think that like there's a lot of like offensive pressure like Dragon should have, but like I tried to put enough defense on the back end. I would give this like a B ranking. I think it's better than the teams that we have in C. but like I don't think it's like an A-tier team.
All right. Jules, you got anything? What do you think?
I actually personally like it. I had Dragon last monotype, and I know it was a little bit hard to build around, but I do actually really like this team. And then there's, the hazard removal. I think Garchomp gets hazards. I don't know if that's something you would use Garchomp for, but it's available if you want to do hazards. I love Gudra, Sap Sipper, Hydration, awesome. I don't know what everyone's building their team as, but I love Cyclezar, Baxcalibur, Garchomp. Walking Wake is broken. I hate Walking Wake. I will say that. Not as a Pokemon, but playing against it, I fucking hate it. Pardon my French. I when I played against Walking Wake, I had to take a second. I had to drink a lot of alcohol that night to calm myself down.
Sweet T-Rex haunts your dreams.
Honestly, yeah, I was so angry.
Our
And I
therapist
think
is
I had to fight against it twice, and I was not for it.
her therapist has a lot more to talk with her about Walking Wake now, I guess.
Oh, God.
So,
But I don't know. I like it, honestly. I would say, again, it's not like a team that kind of, there's nothing real special about it besides Walking Wake. Like, Walking Wake is the only fear that I have. And then I'm a fairy team, so it's like, for me personally, it's a little bit easier for me to get past. But if I was anybody else, I'd hate my life. So I'd say like high B at least, maybe like peaking a little bit into A, maybe a little bit. But that's my 2 cents.
all right, Vlad.
Thanks, Bestie.
Um, I so the two problems that have always plagued dragon types since the beginning of time: Will-O-Wisp and ice types, hands down. This team actually does a really nice job of kind of shoving those off to the side. And no ice types this tournament, so that actually worked out in his favor a lot more. I do like Cyclezar. I don't like fighting against Cyclezar because I think it's an annoying little shit, but I like Cyclezar.
I do need to say that when I made this team on Showdown, I had to put it in Ubers because of Shedtail.
Yep, that's exactly
I
why
will
hate
reveal
Cyclezar.
that. I'm
Exact
sorry. I
same
mean, like,
reason.
if anybody didn't think that, like, the Cyclezar didn't have Shedtail and the format was legal, like, then I think you just need to, like, look in the mirror. But, like, yeah, no, that's so broken.
It's such a broken move, and it's so fast. It's like almost guaranteed to go off first. It's so good. Baxcalibur, Godzilla. Just the aesthetic of Baxcalibur is one of my favorite things in this game. Walking Wake. I had to look into Walking Wake because I had no idea what it was going to do at the time. I like Walking Wake. It balances out. It takes away like the need for a mixed attacker because it's a dedicated special attacker, and it is so good. Gudra. It's a Gudra. It's bulky. It's there. It's got to stick around. And then Garchomp.
It is, Hisuian Gudra is like leaps and bounds better than like
I've
normal
seen the
Gudra.
stat
Like,
I've seen the stat distribution and its abilities. It is ridiculous. Yeah, it's going to stick around. It's in for the long haul. And then Garchomp. I've used Garchomp. God, I think in like 3 or 4 different forms. So as far as that's concerned, whatever set he brings in is really only going to be to fill gaps. It could have Stealth Rocks. It could be absolutely be a terrain center for this team, and honestly, it would do just fine with that. There's no, I mean, there's just no way around it. It's great. I think it'll do quite well.
I think you meant hazard setter, but I think we all know you meant that.
Yeah, hazards. Sorry, hazards. Yeah.
Yeah. You all pretty much covered everything I was gonna say. I do like the Hisuian Gudra being like a special tank to tank all the mostly special fairy type moves that might be coming its way, which is like the main like weakness that this team's gonna run into is just fairy types in general. But Shedtail in combination with a bunch of setup sweepers is fantastic. Especially when you consider Shedtailing into a multi-scale Dragonite, it's going to be a lot harder to break that substitute and get some free Dragon Dances. Baxcalibur being not only immune to Will-O-Wisp, but also getting an attack boost from it. I'm pretty sure is also kind of nuts. Um, and then yeah, just the versatility of Garchomp. I mean, you could do like fast support with like hazards and Dragon Tail. You can do a dedicated physical sweeper. You can do like bulkier with like Rocky Helmet and Rough Skin for to be annoying. Like there's a lot of different avenues you can go with Garchomp, so I do like the versatility there. I would definitely rate this high B, if not A. So, with that being said, uh, let's try to. This might be the one of the more difficult ones to find a spot for. Are we thinking like high B in front of the Slow Kings? Are we thinking A just behind Boston? What are we thinking?
If we put it in A, I would argue that we would have to put Ninetales in the S tier.
I was literally gonna say that. Like if we put the Dragon team in the A tier, then like I mean I don't know. I mean, but then you got to think about like their matchups into each other too. I mean, like I know that it's monotype overall, but like the Dragon team has like a decent matchup into that Grass team. You know, like I
Right.
think.
I mean that's
Like,
fair, but we
so-
can't really take that into account when
Right.
tiering the teams. So
I think they're all on A tier because like I haven't seen anything yet that's been like wow. I mean, I feel like we're gonna move at least like Boston and Denver's team into S tier like when we get there. But like if A gets like more crowded than this, then we're gonna have to bump somebody up. But I think this is good for now.
okay, fair enough. All right, next, we're gonna give the floor back to you, Alex. Go ahead. Blaine.
Wow. I mean, I know I talk a lot, but I just don't genuinely like to. Just so we're all aware. This is my dark team. I brought Moose. It's Moosey Doom. I was just trying to cover like my two glaring weaknesses, like fighting and fairy. I tried to do the best that I could with that. King Gambit is there because it's a King Gambit. That's another one that I don't think needs justification. I have two Protean users because we're a monotype tournament, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm gonna change mine, and they're both blindingly fast, and I hope you're afraid of them. I'm so happy that like the DLC gave Mandibuzz back to me because that's honestly one of my favorite Pokemon to use competitively, like as long as it's been able to be used. I've used it in like several tiers and Mandy's my girl. And I finally get to use my mascot. Thanks to the Primals, who sent me a really interesting article, like about mono teams specifically, that like gave me a really cool idea for this team with my absolute favorite Pokemon. So I think I think I've got like just enough bulk, but like I could have fit more. Before anybody says a fucking word, yes, I know I didn't take Grimmsnarl. I'm sorry. My only way to remove hazards is defog. So what's the point? And I did really want Urshifu Dark on this team, but I couldn't find the slot for it. I like dark special attackers are hard to come by, and Gengar fills that slot for me when it terrestrializes, and I obviously have Greninja 2 that fits the mold, but I don't know. I think I think it's okay. I think it's going to be fun to play.
All right, Jules, what are your initial thoughts?
This is not biased at all, but this team like technically has everything that I would look for in a team. It has like defog, it has hazards. I love the protein stuff, especially in a monotype. Like that goes crazy. I love that. I've never seen Mandibuzz used, so I'm excited to see it used, and I hope you use it good. Because if not, I'm gonna be upset if I don't fight you at some point during this monotype.
I mean, to be fair, I do not want to see you at all in this tournament.
Okay,
like we're
well,
friends,
you're
but
going
like
to.
you and Vlad can stay far as fuck away from me in this tournament. I mean, like I also have Gengar because I stabbed Sludge Bomb because you, my friend, were added. So like that was another like
Okay, but
like
I also
nice
have
little.
Magearna, so
You do have a Magearna, and again, I am quaking in my little boots. But like assuming I don't see you, this would be fine. Would be just great.
No, I really like this team. I like Gengar. I like there's priority on this team. Taunt, like it has the move pool. And again, Protean, I love it. So I love this team personally. Again, not biased. He just
Thank
is
you.
good at making his team. I'm never biased. I would say, oh gosh. I would actually say A, but that's just for me personally, like lower A. And then if it gets too like crowded, I would move Denver to S. But I really like this team, so.
All right, Vlad, what about you?
So, at first I was also questioning why Alex didn't bring it in Grimmsnarl, but hearing the justifications behind the team and just kind of looking at the overall composition, I don't think that Grimmsnarl would have helped anywhere on this team, truthfully. Double Protean fast. Double Protean fast Pokemon. You got King Gambit, got the Moose. Mandibuzz is a really fantastic Pokemon ever since it came out. Black and White. Great Pokemon. Fucking love Mandibuzz. And he's so far the only person using their mascot on the team, so I got to give him credit for that.
In my defense, mine will
Simon
never be
K.
allowed. Mine will never be allowed in any draft league format, so that's not my fault.
I wanted to.
That's fair. But yeah, no, I do like this team and the way that it's formatted. This is going to be a fun team to fight against. Even if I have to go up against them, I feel like I might have some difficulty, especially with the Mandibuzz. But the double Protean users are definitely the biggest threat on this team. It's going to be so much fun.
I will say that, like, when I was like originally drafting the team, like what it came down to was either me having a dedicated like slot where I could remove hazards without question, or if I opted into a Grimmsnarl Sableye route, like my only defense against somebody setting up a hazard on me was like to taunt them out of it. And like you can't do that consistently, like especially when we go to game 2 and things like that. So like I thought the hard slot was like my safest bet. But like like I would have liked to have run Grimmsnarl. Like it like in my first drafts, like I couldn't get rid of it, and then like when it is what it is.
Oh, Grimmsnarl is a great Pokemon. But like I said, I don't think that Grimmsnarl has a place on this team. Truthfully, with the way that you built it, I don't think it has a place on the team, and I think that this team is done really, really well and very, very well rounded. I like it. I would also say I would also say A. Again, if it gets too crowded, start moving teams up into the S tier. But I'll definitely say A tier for this team.
So I'm gonna break the mold, and I don't know if anyone's gonna agree with me. And this isn't from a bias perspective. This is just
Party pooper.
Anywho, I'm leaning towards this is one of the better teams that we've seen so far. Just okay, we got defensive core with Mandibuzz and Tinglu. We've got hazard removal. We got hazards. We got phasing, which is important. No one's brought up phasing, but setting up in monotype is kind of important, and just having the ability to whirlwind things out that are trying to get a little too bulky, a little too strong. Just being able to shoo them out and have the oncoming Pokemon take rocks damage or spikes damage or whatever the hazard is also really important. Having the two Protean users, one being physical, one being special, potentially, could be a massive nuisance. Being able to swap around your types, even if you can only do it the first attack you use, that's still annoying. Being able to potentially swap into a type that's going to resist or be super effective against whatever team you're going against gives you a lot of versatility. So I don't know about you, but I think I kind of like this team better than the other teams we've seen thus far. Just my opinion. I don't know if y'all agree with me, but I think this is one of the better teams.
I didn't want to be biased. That's the only reason I didn't say that.
I'm gonna cry.
Vlad, you're an asshole. Break the trend here. Do you think it's better than teams we've seen, or do you think it's mid to low A?
I'm gonna have to have that. If you want my honest opinion, I need Alex to leave the call because otherwise he's gonna hear me compliment him more than I think he does.
Wow, are we almost friends again? I'm still not over the cow.
That's fair. I'm not over the cow either, but that's fine. We'll never get
build
past
a
it
bridge.
together.
We'll build a bridge together.
Couples
No,
therapy
We're
helps.
gonna dig under it. Don't worry. We're gonna dig under it. We're not gonna try and get over. We're gonna get under it.
All right, Vlad, how high an A do you think? Because honestly, I think it's better than Denver's team, but you'll be the deciding factor here. Is it better than Denver's team or?
I do wholeheartedly agree. Even though I do technically have the type advantage, this team's going to give me a lot of problems. So I would argue that this is probably going to be our first S tier team.
We think an S tier for this?
Yeah, and I have the type advantage.
Do you echo that sentiment, Seattle, or are you thinking high A? What do you think?
Being called Seattle feels weird.
Yeah, I know.
I like it. I like S tier. I do like it more than the other teams. Again, I didn't want to be biased because Alex is my bestie, and I didn't want to be like, oh, S tier because whatever. But I really love this team, and I think it's gonna do really well.
Thanks, guys. I hope so.
All right.
No pressure.
No pressure. Don't go O2 drop. All right. So next we got
You.
Wow.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't muted.
Wow. So we got the Rock Gym Leader, and I apologize. I don't think I've ever been on a first name basis with this coach. I've talked to him a few times about VGC, but I don't think we've ever exchanged names. What is his name?
Oh wait, is this Dev?
I think so.
This
Is
is
this
Mid Valley.
Mid Valley? Yeah, okay, this is Dev. Oh,
Okay.
now I feel even worse saying ew. I just saw Garganackle and was physically vomited.
I wasn't sure if you were reacting to the Pokemon or the coach. I wasn't sure.
Oh no, definitely not the coach. It was the Garganackle that I saw, and I was like, "Ugh."
I also had a visceral reaction to it, so it's fine.
Okay. My bad. Okay, continue.
I think it's Vlad's turn to give his input first. I think.
Yeah. Tyranitar. Fucking love Tyranitar. It's I think it's consistently been one of my first couple choices every draft that I've been in. And that's just because I love Tyranitar. Assault Vest only added insult to injury to the damn thing with its special bulk. Beyond that, we've got Choo Choo, the coal miner there. I like it. I don't like it enough that it's I think it's a great Pokemon. I think it's pretty okay. Cleavor, nice little addition from Legends Arceus, a game I never finished. I just like the aesthetic of Cleavor. I think it's a cool Pokemon to look at.
You're doing yourself a disservice. That game is fantastic.
Look, I've tried sitting down and finishing it out. I've tried sitting down and finishing it out, and
Just
I couldn't do it.
Just keep going. I get so angry. Just keep talking.
And Garganackle, just saying the name makes me want to gargle on bleach. And then you've got Glabora.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's comically forgettable how good this Pokemon can be. But dear God, did the champion in this game absolutely fuck it up? Oh my God. And then Azelf, things go boom. I like Azelf here, just simply for the explosion. Beyond that, I don't think I've ever played with Azelf in the years that it's been out, so I like it.
All right, Alex. Oh, sorry, Vlad. If you were to rate this team, where would you put it?
I mean, it's a bulky team. I see what it does. Hopefully Glabora can actually do what Glabora does. But outside of that, I would probably say that this is, I don't know. I kind of want to say a C-tier team, honestly. As much as I like the individual Pokemon, it's just bulk. And it's gonna take a while for it to actually get up and get moving.
All right, Alex.
I mean, Yeah, I mean, like Vlad kind of talked about it. I mean, first of all, I got to give the dude some credit because like I think this team is really good. Like it is a really good team, but it is a rock team. So like like it is a rock team. I Tyranitar and Gengar are like on the same tier for me as favorite Pokemon, and it hurt me physically that I didn't put it on my dark team, but like I'm so happy he's using it. I think like it is shamelessly my favorite Pokemon on this team, but I am biased. I think he's really smart with Colossal because it's like a water immunity for him. So like that's really good, and it's a special attacker, which Rock like doesn't really have because we do not get Nihilego in this game. Thank God. I think Kleavor is really strong. It's a like as probably one of your better like rock physical attackers. It's not like laughably slow. I mean, it's either this or like and rock or something like that. And I'm happy that he didn't include it because like yeah, you get like that priority stab rock move, but it's a fucking Lycan rock at the end of the day. I really like the Azelf, honestly. I think that's really interesting. Like I honestly like don't know enough about it competitively to know what he's going to do with it, but I think that's really cool. And plus like it's a levitator to his like glaring ground weakness. So like that's really smart of him. I mean like I think like as best as you can, you built a rock team, and like if you were to hand this to me, I'm not even gonna touch on Garnicle by the way because it's a fucking cancer. So and like Glamora is like I'm assuming like if that thing does anything besides focus sash and set up something and die, I will be impressed. But like it is still a Glamora, like it's good, but it's Glamora. Like I would put this in B tier. Like I think it's constructed like you know intelligently. Like he did a good job for like the type that it is, but like it's still rock. So it only goes so far because it's rock. I would give this like low B. I don't know if I'd put it in C though.
All right, Jules.
Okay, I'm gonna ignore the typing because I feel like a little bit of this is like focusing on the typing of the team and less of like the team in general. And I'm gonna ignore coaching skill as well because I know Dev pretty personally and very, very good coach. They they scare me sometimes.
No,
And
they're very good. Like they did really well last season. It was their first time. Like there's no like discredit to like that dude that to like their skill level. Like they're very good. Like I don't doubt them when they make a team like this. Like it's good. I mean, like it is what it is. I'm sorry. Keep going.
yeah, it's okay. I wasn't saying that you were. I wasn't saying that you were. I was just saying I'm ignoring that fact because obviously I would rate this team a little bit higher because I know what they can do with it. Um, I do have like a little conversation with a couple of the teams before the teams were made and as they were being made and everything. Um, so I know a little bit more into the team. I'm not gonna say anything about the team, but I do like it a little bit more than what you would normally give for like rock. Obviously, Garganackle is, annoying. Salt cure, purifying salt, super bulky. I mean, getting through this thing is gonna be a pain. Um, they try to do. I mean, you can only do so much with rock with trying to like get your weaknesses away, like towards the side. I do like the Azelf or Azelf, whatever. And then Colossal. Love Steam Engine, Flame Body, like all of that. And obviously Tyranitar is Tyranitar. I feel like Glamora does not get enough love. Like Glamora is Glamora, and it's a little bit on the not as used side, but toxic debris, spikes. It destroys your team slowly, especially for this team. It seems like a very bulky, like stall team. Like this is another team you're gonna probably cry playing against because they're gonna annoy the shit out of you. But I also agree with like a B. Like it's a very standard team. There's nothing
Okay.
that screams Woo! But I do like it more than like C or anything.
Okay. I'm just gonna add a couple.
Like this is. I'm sorry, but like we have to say that this is like when we put Cole's cool flying team in C tier. We put it in C tier because it had like literally no way to like stop its glaring weakness. Like this team is too well constructed to be a C tier team. So like let's like
Yeah.
define that line.
Yeah. The
Well,
only,
I think that's what Vlad said was C. I think, right? Or am I?
Yeah.
Stop sipping that haterade, Dad. Okay, like we're all here to learn about each other's Pokemon. Just be nice.
I like Haterade.
Get the cow.
So do I. I'm kind of thirsty.
Fucking
We know that.
Lucario, dude.
I'm sorry, I love you, but I'm going to add a couple of things that that I did not hear mentioned all that much. He actually did a really decent job at covering one of his weaknesses, that being grass. Because he's got the part fire, the part bug, and the part poison, so he's kind of got his grass weakness covered. But as far as like everything else, he doesn't have like a whole lot to cover. Alex, I'm not judging you, but Steam Engine does not make it an immunity, a water immunity. It just gives him a drastic speed boost when he's hit by a water type move. But the catch is he has to survive the water type move first. And
I had forgotten about that.
so,
Yikes. Sorry, but oh my gosh, I'm so used to it in dubs. I'm so sorry.
it's fine.
I mean, I never claimed to be good at this game, for the record.
Well, it's fine because I'm used to it being able to Terra grass. That way, if it does get hit with a water type move, it's getting a speed boost while resisting it, while also covering for its ground weakness as well. But in this particular case, the Colossal is not able to Terra, so in order for it to get the Steam Engine boost, it has to survive, which it's not likely going to. Maybe with the Sand Up, it could if he has special defensive investment, but that's still ×4 weakness right there. So, then we got let's see. He covers his fighting weakness pretty well, even though there's no um like the Tyranitar's ×4 weak to fighting, but he's also got like the Glamora, which is part poison, which makes it a neutrality, and the Cleavor that makes it a neutrality as well. But Holy ground weakness, Glamora and Colossal both are ×4 weak to ground, and his only saving grace is that Azelf. So that's just one thing I'm looking at, is that he has a very glaring ground weakness. I mean, yeah, the Cleavor kind of, but it's special. I don't know. What's Cleavor's defense? I forgot. What's his defense stat?
I think it's terrible.
Because I know it's going to get a sand boost and special defense, so I was just curious what its physical defense is.
95.
95? That's not awful. Okay, so maybe the Cleavor could be a decent switch in for a ground type attack as well, but that's still a lot of ground. A lot of ×4 weakness to ground, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I understand the Glamora pick. The other thing that wasn't touched on is that both Glamora and Colossal get some form of hazard removal, being Rapid Spin and Mortal Spin. So there's also that. And then Uncle Bad Touch over here, we've already touched on that. It's going to be annoying as shit. Honestly, it's probably the...
I'm sorry, did you say Uncle Bad Touch?
Yes, I did. Yes. And once you play it, you're
great.
Once you play against it, I'm sure you're going to agree with me. So I mean, yeah, I think low B is justified. I don't think it's like it has its weaknesses, but I don't think it's as glaring as the Stealth Rock weakness for the flying team. I would probably put it on the low end of B if it were me. And if we did put it in C tier, I would put it above Cole.
I think this is a B tier team. Like, I don't think it's a C tier team. Like, again, like the bar for that team is like construction, and like he's got like clear answers to like, you know, as many weaknesses as you can. But like at the end of the day, this is a mono tournament. You can only cover for yourself as much as you can. You know what I mean? Like,
All right. Well, don't forget also that the Alakazams are also in the C tier. So, do we think this team is better or worse than the Alakazams? Because we were talking about Cole, but we haven't talked about the Alakazams as far as like determining the C tiers.
I mean, like based on like Alakazam's like picks for Pokemon, like I think that's C tier because of that. Like and like not like to say anything else, but like there are just better options for the things that he picked in those slots.
All right, so we're thinking low end of B then.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Next up, we got Montreal in the Electric team. Alex, it's your turn to start.
So I got to admit, like I don't really like know a hell of a lot about a lot of the Pokemon on here competitively because like Vlad, I didn't play Sun and Moon either. But I do like Alolan Raichu. I really like Zapdos and Thundurus on this team, but I'm not a huge Luxray fan. I mean, I know you get Intimidate and like, or like, you know, if you're running Guts, that's also like pretty decent, but it's like not that fast for an electric type. Um, Iron Hands is like obviously really good, but you know, I feel like there are a lot of ways this team could go because Zapdos is really versatile. Honestly, like I think I like Zapdos the most on here. I like the Ace Gudra too, like you know because it's Gudra. It's interesting that it's you know normal Gudra and not Hisuian. But I don't really know what this team's gonna do, to be honest. Like it's got two flyers to fight the ground weakness. Like it is lucky in a monotype tournament to only have like one weakness to ground. Like, but outside of the Zapdos and the Gudra, and like Iron Hands is bulky-ish, but like I would like to see like some more bulk. I mean,
All right.
there's no like am I missing a hazard setter here? Like there's no like I mean or like I'm sorry, like it doesn't isn't there like an electric entry hazard? Or is that just like
No, you're thinking of terrain, I think, and there are.
Electro, I think is what you're thinking.
I mean, what I'm really missing here is like I would have liked to have seen like Galvantula here, like for Sticky Web. I don't know. Like
Is Galvantula even in the decks?
I thought so, wasn't it? Uh,
I don't think it is.
no, you don't get it. My mistake. Well then I'll just like I don't know, just fuck myself. None of the Rotoms are. Oh no, you do get Galvantula. You do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean like so. Yeah, I wait, hold on, I might be mistaken. Uh, hold on a second.
I don't see Galvantula in that deck.
No, I think I'm wrong. I think I pulled up the wrong deck. So
All right. So immediate, or what's your ranking on this team? What do you?
hold on. I mean, another notable like not included Pokemon. Well, I mean, like you can only pick one of the.
Yeah, if you're talking about
Is
Paradox, yeah.
Palmot banned?
No, Palmot's not
Interesting
banned.
that Regieleki's not here. Because
Yeah.
or none of the Rotoms are here. Like I don't. They're levitators. I don't know. I mean, like the more I look into this, like the more I start to like. I mean, like I don't really know what this team's trying to do. And like that, to be fair, like I myself don't personally play a lot of electric types, but like I didn't even know that we did have Regieleki, but like the first thing I think of is Regieleki, like now for electric types to throw in anything. I do like the Iron Hands and the Zapdos, especially. Like Zapdos is another one that I have played with before, and like it is very good. I mean, like Static Zapdos is a really good like defensive option if that's the route that the Milotics choose to take. But like, I don't know. Like I don't know what this team's trying to do. Like
All right.
I would probably
Do you want me to come back to you as far as a ranking then?
yeah. I mean, like somebody more educated than I can like probably talk about what this team's trying to do because like I certainly have no idea.
All right. Jules, do you want to take it or do you want me to take it?
I don't like it.
All right.
That's all I have to
Elaborate.
say.
Elaborate.
Well, I don't know. I feel like it's another team where it's like the individual Pokemon are great, but there's like no synergy with the team. Again, with what Alex was saying, it's like you don't really know what it's trying to do. Like obviously there's fake out pressure with, Raichu and Iron Hands, which is great and all, but like what else? What else is there? I don't think there's any hazards unless I'm wrong.
I mean, like, the Milotics might sweep us all with whatever they're planning to do with Goodra, because like that's the thing that's like the most interesting to me, because like it's like it's normal Goodra, so like it's like bulky-ish and like kind of good special attack wise, and has Gooey and Sap Sipper. I mean, but the Milotics are electric, so they don't really care about grass, and they've already got Thundurus and Zapdos, so
Yeah. Yeah. I know, like, I don't know. It just there's no synergy. Again, like Guja, yeah, sure, on its own, but you never want to rely on one Pokemon to carry your team because that screws you over in the end, especially if it gets KO'd right off the bat. So I don't know. I don't really. I feel like low C for me because it's not really a standard team. I mean, again, they might have something up their sleeve, but we're not doing it based off of sneaky moves that you have. It's as a whole, as a team as a whole.
Yeah.
And I definitely would have like any Rotom. Any Rotom here would have been incredible, especially with the ground weakness and everything. Like,
so welcomed here. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, I keep going through like all the electric Pokemon that we have access to now. Because, like, to be honest, like I don't fucking know. Like, I do like Iron Hands, but like I also really like would have like Sandy Shocks here. Like Sandy Shocks seems like really good. Or like Revival Blessing is banned, but I still think Palmot's good. I mean, I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. Or Choreo too, and Kilowattrel. Those are
Yeah,
two that
Kilowattrel's great. I mean, like Jolteon's also like an option. I mean, like I don't know. Like I do like some of these Pokemon here. I just like I don't know what the Milotic's game plan is, but like collectively, like I'm just I didn't even know the fake out pressure, to be honest. So like that's like one unknown clarified, but like I don't know what the rest of it does.
All
I mean,
right.
a lot of it's just like power. Like I feel like a lot of it, like we got Tailwind on like Zapdos and Screens apparently on Zapdos.
Zapdos like fills like multiple roles. Like I feel like a lot of this team, like whatever the plan is, can be functional because the Zapdos is there. But overall, I'm pretty sure it's like a high C team. I don't really know what's going on.
I wouldn't even say high C. I feel like this confuses me more than the others. Don't we have another team in C? What's the? Can I see the rankings again?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like flying is down there because of the weaknesses, which, I mean, is there
Is
anything
this
here that's getting rid of besides Zapdos?
uh
Zapdos isn't really getting rid of the ground weakness. It's just giving
Oh,
itself an
and
immunity.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's no synergy, and I'm a killer for synergy with
there's
teams.
also no hazard removal unless
Yeah,
they're running defog on the Zapdos. Wait, or does Zapdos still even get defog? I don't think it does.
no, it
I think
doesn't.
that yeah, okay, then there's no hazard removal too. Yeah, like if this isn't the bottom of C, then this has to be D tier. I'm sorry, it's not like personal. I feel bad putting people there, but like like I don't really know what this does at all. So like I'll put it there because I'm stupid, but like I don't know. Just beat me, and like then I'm an idiot, and like I'll just get on somebody else's chat and tell them that I was an idiot, like been blown out by exploding Regirox before in this draft league, so I'm more than willing to be blown out by like Terra Electric Gudra. It's fine.
All right, Vlad, do you have anything to add?
No, they kind of already said it, and I mean there isn't unfortunately a lot to say about the team. I look at the team and like these are good sprinklings for literally all the other teams. Iron Hands is a good Pokemon, but this seems like an amalgamation of Pokemon I thought were cool that happen to be electric types. Is how I feel when I look at this team.
Yeah, for sure.
Plus
Nothing
Gudra.
wrong with that for the record. I mean, like, you know,
No,
again,
like,
as long as everybody has fun, like that's all I care about. Like,
right, and because like yeah, these Pokemon they're cool, you know, and it's just I don't know. Terra Electric Gudra really did throw me as well. I was like, what the shit's this? But yeah, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the team as far as like composition is concerned. If it is just an amalgamation of Pokemon I thought were cool that happen to be electric types, then you know it's a fun, I hope they have fun with it. But beyond that, I kind of have to agree. This might be our first D tier team.
The only thing I will say, is there this? I agree with you guys. As far as like there being no synergy with this team, I feel like they could have made 2 changes that would have brought this from like a low C to D tier team to a high B, maybe low A. And that would be replacing the Luxray with maybe Pincurchin for electric terrain to support the Raichu and the Iron Hands, and maybe replacing the Thundurus with Rotom Wash to be able to deal with the ground types. And I feel like that would have put it at like a high B-ish team. But there's no electric terrain, like auto electric terrain, to support the Raichu or the Iron Hands, which means somebody's going to have to manually set it up. And I mean, the ones that can learn it, of the Pokemon that can learn it, who's going to want to take a turn to set that up? So I feel like Pincurchin and Rotom Wash would have been fantastic additions that would have bumped this team up tenfold. But I tend to agree. I think with the team as it stands, I think we're looking at, especially with no hazards and like really no way to deal with your weaknesses, I think we're looking at a low C, maybe D, as it currently stands.
somebody's got to lead the way. I would put it in D tier just because like I don't know what it does, and I am not afraid of it. So, and I'm afraid of everything.
All right, what's the rest of the cast thing? Do we think first D tier?
D tier.
Yeah, because I said low C. You know, I can.
All right, majority
Again,
rules.
No offense to the
Yep.
team or anything. Like, have fun with it, but we just here to say what's up.
Yeah, like we're bad at being mean girls because like we want everybody to have fun, but like,
Yeah.
sorry, like.
All right, well, now this is the part I've been enjoying the whole entire fucking night. It's me. It's me.
Boo.
F. Below
It's
F even.
you.
Below F.
Hi, you're the problem. It's you.
All right, so I got arguably probably the shit end of the stick as far as typing goes. Like, I think Poison is probably the worst typing out of the entire like field. But I did the best I could with it. And believe it or not, there is quite a few good poison types that I really wanted to fit on here, but I just couldn't do it. So the Wheezing, it's part fairy, it's got levitate, cover the ground weakness, and also having a dragon type immunity since dragon type was added is pretty nice too. The Muck was an addition because I didn't want to lose to, or just auto lose to a Psychic Sweeper. Then I got a Moongus for, it does Amoonguss things. I don't need to justify that. Glimora, it's got a couple of options. I'm not going to reveal which one. but it's got a couple of options for abilities, one of which is Toxic Debris, which everyone knows about, but the other one is Corrosion, which allows you to inflict poison on any type of Pokemon. It does not matter what it is. It could be poison or steel. You can still poison it. I was torn between Okidogi and the Sneasler. I ultimately decided on Sneasler because I wanted the speed more than I wanted the bulk, because I feel like I had plenty of bulk as it was. And then for my ace, I picked Hydreigon just because Levitate, and it's one of the better Terra Poison users, and it's got really great coverage on top of a Dark Stab to help me with my Psychic weakness as well. So that's more or less how I came to terms with what I have now. So, Jules, it's your turn to shit on me. Go ahead.
Some kind of shit on you.
You already did. Boo.
I didn't shit on you. I just said boo.
Uh-huh.
Boo can be endearing. Like, hey, boo. You know, right?
I'm pretty sure that was not the context.
But in
No.
this case,
I wish I had something to say, but I don't.
You
I don't
won.
even have anything bad to say. I
Good news, she's not gonna go for your jugular like you did Vlad.
I did not. Okay, listen, I did not. Okay. I don't know much about poison teams. You have Mortal Spin, you have the hazards and stuff. That's usually what I look at first. I love Hydreigon. It's my emo boy. I don't. Besides, like, Levitate, what are you really doing against your weaknesses? Like,
Um, well, which weakness are you talking about?
like Psychic, isn't that super effective against poison? Am I crazy?
Yes, the Alolan Muck is part dark, so that's an immunity, and then Hydreigon is fast and has Dark Stab. That's basically the gist of it.
Okay. So that's your ass coverage there.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't mean like ass coverage, like bad coverage, but I mean like
I know what you meant.
well, now I mean it the other way.
Now I... Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's another team where it's like there's nothing that really pops out at me. Like it can cover its ass. And I like what I didn't even know that corrosion was a thing, so that's gonna be a pain in the ass. Especially if you're against my Magearna. But yeah, I don't know. It has synergy. It's doing its thing, I think. But I would say like high B maybe mid B. I don't know. There's nothing that I see in this team. Maybe you guys see something that I don't, but eh.
All right, Vlad, what do you got?
um, I mean, I like the team. I'm glad that you took the wheezing recommendation. That makes me happy on the outside.
Only on the
A
outside.
little.
Weird how you had to specify. Like,
Yeah.
Like, this makes me, like, kind of question, like, how happy are we,
weird how you
Vlad?
had to say like outward happiness or inward. Like you could just be happy. Like what?
Like, the fact that you
What does that mean?
the fact that you specified outwardly makes me think that you got
So-
something going on.
Yeah, yes, I do. My inner ear infection is hurting me right now. So
Is this a
my
phallic symbol?
insides are unhappy. My insides are unhappy right now. But on the outside, I'm actually really happy you
What
took
kind
my,
of
my
grown
wheezing
adult gets an ear infection?
inner ear infection and one with a 4-year-old.
I
That's
literally
fair.
just had an ear infection and my ears have been fucked up ever since, so
Look, I don't think you've ever done anything wrong in your life, but like I believe you.
oh thanks. I feel like I
you
could
got.
get away with anything with Alex.
I agree. I think you could.
You could probably kick him in the groin, and he'd say, "Thank you. Can I have another?"
That's not that's like almost my vibe, but not that far. Thank you. I would prefer if you didn't.
But he wouldn't hate you for it.
But yeah, I was gonna say if I did.
No, I'd get over it. You know, like that, I mean, like I would get over that. Like that would be fine. I would not like that, but we would get over it. Like
Yeah,
we'd
see?
move on. We're
Exactly. So she'd get
stronger
away
than
with
that.
it.
Like that's what I would like.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'd get away
think
with
of
it.
You know, like I'm
in the end.
stronger than that. Thank you.
All right, Vlad,
the
continue.
Alolan Muck. Yeah, the Alolan Muck to match that. I like it. I like it a lot. I know that it's a fun Pokemon. You got Mario the Among Us always doing sus shit. Like it's Among Us. It's one of the most used Pokemon in the game for a reason.
Here.
Glabora, hopefully it does Glabora things and lives longer than 2 turns. If it doesn't, it did Glabora things. Hydreigon, I like Hydreigon on this team. It covers your weaknesses pretty nicely with the fast bop in the nose. And then Sneasler, I mean, it was between this and Okidogi, and we both agreed that whichever one you took, I was going to take the other. So, I mean, that really just puts those two on their own individual pedestals for different reasons for me. So, I like them. I like this team. I like this team a lot. However, because it's you, F tier. Absolute failure of a team. Hate it.
All right, so if it was anybody else, how would you rank it?
Oh, if it was anyone else, I'd give this a good B tier team. I think this is definitely one of the stronger teams, in especially within the B
has to
tier
have someone
itself.
else's name on it. Like literally
Anyone
just
else's
grab
name, literally anyone else's name on this team, fantastic. But because
Literally
it's
anyone,
yours,
please.
worst team on the fucking planet.
Wonderful. Glad to hear it. Alex, go ahead, please.
God, he just hates you so much. It's just so nice to see. I don't really care because we already talked about how I had 2 Protean users. I take great pride in being the reason you put the Muck on the team at all. Secondly, I
Spoilers, I guess, since you're gonna rat yourself out.
I'm a Protean. I'm all types and none of them. Don't label me, okay? Like,
Don't assume my type. Wow.
and I know, like, you know, spoiler. You were also the one who like sent me that article for Gengar. So I know that you only did that so I would get off of Hydreigon so that like we wouldn't have the same ace in the tournament, and that's fine with me as a person. Like I understand, and I did that for you as a friend.
Listen,
But
pal,
overall,
we got 2 Dragonite aces and 2 Espathra aces, so I would not have cared either way.
Oh, we haven't even touched the second one of those 2 either.
Listen.
like I do like your team, like for poison. I mean, like I know that like it's poison and like we're not supposed to look at the typing, but like, you know, like I think for what you have available to you in a pool, you did the best with what you can do. Um the only thing that I'm kind of iffy on this team, honestly, is Sneasler. Like the way that you explain it, though, like makes sense to me because like you want like speed. I mean, like I feel like Hydreigon like also kind of fills your speed role depending on like what you do with it. Because like you know you may or may not like choose to scarf it, or like you know it itself like has base like 98 speed, so it's not the slowest thing in the world. But I don't hate Sneasler. You know, like I think it's fine. I think like either way, like you couldn't make like a too wrong of a choice here. I mean, like Amoonguss is Amoonguss. I mean, like, and I'll give Glamora the credit where credit's due too. Like, the thing is, like, better than I expected to be always. But like Vlad touched on before in a joke, like, I only picture Glamora as horrible as it was with the champion from like this game. So like, I'm kind of biased, like, whenever I look at it, like at first glance. But I think you did a good job there, Dad. Like honestly, like I remember you were talking to me also about this wheezing, and like I was like snap, like yeah, put that on your team. Like that wheezing is going to be a sleeper for you, like should you choose to get sweaty in your own tournament. Like it's like it's a sleeper. I would give you a B tier, like hard, like easy.
All right. So is that the general consensus then? B?
I would put it above the fighting team, to be fair. I'm not gonna lie, like I like it better than the fighting team and the ghost team.
All right, Jules, where would you put it?
I agree.
And I know exactly what Vlad's gonna say, so we're just gonna skip it.
I
Be
appreciate that.
forbid.
Go ahead, Vlad. Say your piece.
Yeah, if it's anybody else's name on it, yeah, I agree. Because it's yours, I'm gonna need you to make like 3 more tiers below the D tier.
Wonderful. Glad we have this talk.
Is Wingdings an alphabet that we can tier in?
And now for the part that Alex has been running the entire evening. And guess what? We're gonna start with you, buddy.
No, that's okay.
That's fine. We'll start with
Because
Vlad. It's
because like
Vlad's turn anyway.
no matter how much I may or may not hate him as a person, like I really can't I really cannot say anything bad about this team. This team, like, he did a very good job. And like he bounced a lot of ideas off of me. I told him that I would take literally no credit for helping him because he told me admittedly that I did nothing but be an idea board. And I'm very good at that because I'm a good listener. So, you know, he like bounced a bunch of different ideas off of like this team to me, like building it. And it saw like a few change, like it was always like this core poke, like 5 Pokemon, and then like literally right before like he sent the sheet, he was like, "LOL, what about Rotom as an ace?" And I was like, "That thing levitates, so that's really smart, actually." So it unfortunately took the slot that was supposed to be Hisuian Gudra. I'm sorry, I keep wanting to call that Pokemon Thicky James, and I have to like bite my tongue to stop myself. And I'm a horrible person, but like honestly, like this team is terrifying. I think. Um, I, Corv is a disgusting Pokemon. He's got speed with Iron Treads and like so much power with Goldango and King Gambit. Like this is like a hodgepodge of like Pokemon we've already touched on in other teams that we've said was like great. And then there's Corv that like nobody really has had. Nobody's had a Corv up until now, right? Like he's the only one actually with Corv.
Yep.
Like the flying team didn't have it, so like yeah, like that Pokemon's going to be disgusting. Like there are so many different ways that he can run that to be like a fucking nuisance on your life. Like I'm horrified of this, and like he'll listen to this tomorrow and sneer, but like this is an S tier team, and it's probably above mine.
All right. And Jules.
God damn it. I was literally just about to get up and go put my dishes in the sink, and then you said my name. Um, I'm looking at the team. I am a Corviknight lover, hence why I said it should have been on one of the other teams. I think I said it should have been on the flying team. Also love Heatran. That kind of gets the fire, and then Goldango with good as gold helps prevent like Will-O-Wisp and stuff. Cause like a big thing about like Steel and whatever is like Will-O-Wisp is like pain in the buttocks. I actually do love Rotom Wash as well. Not even just for the levitate. I just love Rotom. Like Rotom is just a little cute little boy. King Gambit's a bit. He's a little slow. I don't know what the speed is for the entire team. I think his team is a little slow. Besides like Rotom and what Iron Treads.
The fastest thing in the team is Iron Treads. I think like Treads is like base 106, but everything else is. I think Goldango is like 80 something.
I think it's 86.
Yeah, and like
84.
Rotom, I mean, but like that's the thing. Like you don't know what that Rotom is, Like it's like it could be fast, or it couldn't be. I mean, like, sorry, keep going.
No, you're good. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of utility and there's some versatility in the team. So I don't know. I like it. I mean, there's the defog and hazards. My favorite things to talk about. I feel like they did very good in type coverage. Like besides steel, I don't really see any doubles up on like typings and stuff, which is always great. And Steel is just kind of a bulky typing in general, so I'm definitely scared of it, but that's just as a fairy team. So
Where
I don't
would
know, like definitely high A, maybe S tier for me. I actually do not like this team as much as I like Alex's. I just like I like the versatility for Alex's team just a little bit more. Um, and type coverages and everything. This team, don't get me wrong, is very good, but definitely not more than Alex's. Maybe like S under Alex.
okay. Vlad?
Yeah. This team came to fuck. Like, there's, I really don't have any. I don't have any other way to say it because, like,
That is
I
the
look at this
perfect way to
team-
say it, first of all.
Because, like, I look at this team and I'm like, okay, I think I have the type advantage, and I'm really questioning myself with that statement because he's covered so many of his bases on multiple levels, and it is absolutely terrifying.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't really know. Because you do have type advantage over him, and you've got a quad
Right.
weakness on one of them. Like, but
Right, but it's like
I don't know, dude.
it's still like type advantage question mark. Like there
you
shouldn't
both
be
have
one.
Goldangos. Like, what do you like? You just like draw or something? Like, that's like a Wild West scenario for you. Like,
Yeah, so I'm just like, yeah, no, this team, yeah, no, I stand with my original statement. This team came to fuck. I would put it in S tier with Alex's team.
Above or below Alex?
I would say tied.
he can go under me.
Yeah, I mean, I want one vote for under, one vote for like you're the tiebreaker at this point, my guy. Like,
Thanks for putting that pressure on me. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I
you
don't
gotta
know.
decide if you like Alex more than you like Azorius. So I mean, that's really.
Well, I will say that this team is definitely probably, like, as far as, like, having your bases covered as far as, like, your weaknesses goes, this one, oof. Yeah, type advantage question mark. This team came to fuck. Vlad put it absolutely perfectly. I mean, you got. I mean, what the weaknesses for Steel are what? Fighting. Okay, we got Goldango and Corviknight. What else? Fire. We got Heatran. Ground. We got Rotom and Corviknight. Like, it's gonna be really difficult, especially with as good of a coach that I know that Pittsburgh is. He beat me in the semifinals of a couple seasons ago. So I know how good he is, and this is gonna be a bitch. And I'm the poison team, so like this is basically a death sentence for me. Like my only answer to this team is maybe if I decide to go Corrosion Glamora, but even then the Goldango just says fuck you to that, so even that isn't great for me. um but I will say that Alex also had really great answers to his weaknesses. But he also had a bit more um he also had a bit more support-esque roles, I think. Um like yeah, we got hazards, we got hazard removal, we got in the form of Rapid Spin and Defog from Iron Treads and Corviknight, we got we got some versatility on different like ways that these Pokemon could be run. But I mean, oh, where are you? You're right here. I mean, you both have Team Gambit. But I mean, Team Lu and Mandibuzz as a defensive core is pretty solid, I would say. And just having the versatility of your two Protean users, I think that's the two Protean, like being able to swap your types around and being able to check other things that by himself Pittsburgh's just not gonna be able to do. So I think for that reason, I think Alex is gonna be just barely a hair above Pittsburgh in this case. So yes, agreed.
Agree.
I'll never say no to that. Oh God,
Yeah, I agree.
I can't wait for that anger in the morning. I love this.
And just for that, I'm gonna change the bracket for him to be your round one opponent. Just kidding. All right. Next up, we got the Scotland Stouts and their normal type team. Jules, why don't you take this one?
Why me?
Because you're special. That's why.
I don't know how to take that? Question mark?
Take it any way you want. Kind of like your,
I don't
kind of like
think
your,
you're good.
kind of like your boo statement with me. Take it any way you want.
I didn't say take it any way you want. I was just saying that it could have been taken in a different way.
Oh, well, whatever.
um, for some reason, I did not realize that Zoroark, the Hisuian Zoroark, was also normal. That's insane. What? Okay, I'm a lover of Zoroark, especially Hisuian Zoroark. Like, what? It's weak to dark, and its stats are insane. So I love Zoroark. Ditto? I don't like it. I don't think I like it. And the only reason I say that is because I feel like there could have been something else, maybe. But maybe that's just me. I don't know. Like, normal is a little rough because of its weaknesses. Like Zoroark does really good at helping with the fighting, obviously. Um, what is it? Dragonite's the ace? The E-Speed Dragonite, obviously. I don't see anything else other than E-Speed Dragonite. Again, I don't know. Ditto is just such a... Ditto is throwing me off. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I like Cyclezar because the shed skin, especially, or not shed skin, shed tail into like Dragonite and just start D-dancing and E-speeding. Gotta love that. Chansey, super bulky. Baby girl. That was Chansey, right?
Yeah, that's just like Eviolite Chansey.
Oh. Oh, right. Eviolite Chansey. I completely forgot that was a thing. I've been watching some fights with that, and I feel bad for the people. Is there...
Bestie, that's us. We're the people now.
True. You're right. I'm sorry. I might have hit my cart a little bit too much. Okay. Can somebody explain to me what Ursaluna Blood Moon does? Because I didn't even know that was a Pokemon until, like,
So
I think Instagram showed me a picture of it, and I was like, that's fake.
it's a special attacking. So regular Ursuluna is a physical attacker. This is a special attacker, base 135. Special attack, base 120. Defense. I think it's got like 80 special defense. I think. So it's typically used as like a Calm Mind, and it's also got a signature move, which is basically Gigaton Hammer. But it's a special normal move, and its ability allows it to hit ghost types with its normal and fighting moves.
What's its speed?
Like 50, 50 or 55.
52, I guess.
It's chunky. I mean, that sounds really cool. I'm not gonna pretend like I didn't just hear that information for the first time in my life just now. But like that sounds cool.
It also has recovery with Moonlight as well. So it could be
Yeah,
a
but
really nasty Calm Mind sweep.
I feel like this is another thing where the reason I have nothing to say is because, like, I don't see how they can work. Like I said, like, Hisuian Zoroark, great. I love Hisuian Zoroark, especially, like, the typing, it covers weaknesses, especially with the fighting. Ditto, I don't understand Ditto. I mean, Ditto is Ditto. You know, it does its thing, but like, I feel like there's other normal types that are better than that, right? Am I crazy?
It doesn't transform every time with the hidden ability, right? Like it's only that one transform and that's it.
Every time it comes in, it
No, it's
transforms.
every time.
Every time. I mean, like as a consistent clone, like that's like it could be like a good wall, but like if you throw it in and like the opposing team like predicts it and like you throw it in on a wall and then you've got like a stalemate going on, like depending on what's like I don't know, like I feel like that might have been like the logic behind it. Like you throw it out, like if you've got like a setup sweeper, he's choice scarf ditto, you know, just like transforms into whatever you have. It's like boosted twice and then just sweeps you out. Like that could happen, but you know, like I, I don't know. I mean, like
Like,
you know,
oh, like Dunsparce. I would have liked that. That would have been cool. Fergarath would have been. I don't know. I'm looking at all the normal type Pokemon, and there's like so many other ones that I've
oh
been
yeah,
like, oh, that would have
Farigiraf
been
would have
cool.
been really cool. Like
Yeah, I would have loved a Fergarath, especially like,
I love Sasuke giraffes.
especially with like Armor Tail, like not having like priority moves. I love that.
So do you want us to do you have a
Do
ranking in
you
mind
guys
or
know what this team is? Because if you guys know what this team is, then by all means tell me. But
I don't know what anybody's team is, including my own. Okay, like
okay, but
sometimes when
looking at
like
this team, besides Dragonite E-Speed and like Zoroark on its own and like Ursaluna Blood Moon, whatever on its own, like what do they do for each other?
I mean, I think Chansey gets Wish, so he's got like that going on. Like the Chansey, like the
Healing
Chansey's
Wish?
annoying enough to make like the team like you know somewhat viable, like in its own right. You know, like I
It
don't
doesn't have
hate.
Wish, but it has Healing Wish, so it would
Uh,
faint.
I mean, yeah, I hate that actually. I don't know. I mean, like I always feel dumb like talking about normal teams because like I feel like I never like play the typing at all. So like I just
Yeah,
don't.
same.
I don't know. And like I know that like the coach was like talking about like, you know, this being his favorite type. So like he's definitely done this before. So like I don't want to like I want to just like say something fucking stupid. Like I but looking at it, no. Like to answer your question, like I don't know like what this does other than like good things individually. Like sometimes that honestly is enough, but like, you know, as an overall like wow, I'm scared of it for X, Y, and Z reason, I can't. Like I'm afraid of Shedtail.
Yeah,
So
Shedtail into Dragonite and then E-Speed. That's where I see this game plan going.
so do you want us to come back to you for the ranking or do you have one in mind already?
I
Oh,
feel like it's like B tier.
I
Or
don't know. Well, see, I'm getting to the end of my night towards
you,
my bedtime where I'm like, I don't even remember what the other freaking teams were. Can you show up the ranking again?
Show who?
The rankings,
the rankings.
like
Oh.
the tiers and stuff. God, I don't even. What was the rock team again?
That was Dev.
Who's Dev?
Garnicle.
Garganackle. You want me to pull it up?
Yeah, let me think about it. Maybe if you guys say some stuff, I'll have better
Alright.
opinions.
Pull up the tier list again.
Uh,
Okay,
Vlad,
so
go ahead.
Um, so oddly enough, I actually really like this team.
Alright, go ahead. Go off, King.
So you got Bicycle Boy, you know, Shedtail does what he does, right? He shed tails into Hisuian Zoroark, or he shed tails into Dragonite. They do their own thing. They're the setup sweepers. You have your defensive core of Chansey and the Ursaluna, because even though its ability is great, it's still a physically defensive wall that complements Chansey really, really well. And actually like that a lot more because it reminds me of the Scar and Bliss combo, and that combo was unbreakable in the time that it was fantastic. And we're talking like 2 or 3 generations worth of time. And Ditto, just as a revenge killer, because doesn't Imposter also copy the stat boosts of the Pokemon that it comes up against?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, so if you just allow something to set up on it, you switch into Ditto, that's Choice Scarf. There's a good chance you're probably gonna kill whatever you transform into.
Does Imposter do that, or does only Transform do that?
Imposter
No,
does that.
Imposter does. Imposter
Oh,
does that.
Imposter does that?
Yeah, no, he
Okay,
doesn't
I
just
thought
set up the turn.
in Transform I know does that. I didn't know that Imposter also just.
Yeah, no, Imposter is literally just transform on entry.
Then
Yeah.
why the
Um,
hell? Oh, I guess if you want to change it to something. Well, no, because
so now, if it's in the unfortunate circumstance where the only thing left on the field is one of the special or physical walls that we've seen throughout all these teams, then it's going to be a long night. But as a revenge killer, Ditto does what Ditto does very, very well. So for those reasons, I do think that this is actually an A tier team.
All right, Alex.
I think that I honestly do think that the team is really well balanced, and I actually really do like all the various utility. It doesn't need the entry hazards per se, but it definitely does what it does well.
I mean, even if he has access to hazards if he wants it, and he also has the
Yeah.
removal as well.
I think this is an A tier team.
All right, Alex, go ahead.
real quick, how many more teams do we have?
We have 3 after this.
Okay, because it's like getting past my bedtime. I have to wake up at 5 a.m.
All right, well, so we'll try to speed past this.
I mean, like, Vlad, I'm not gonna lie, that argument kind of sells me a little bit more, but like, I still think this is like a middle B tier team. Like, it if only because like I feel outside of the Dragonite, there's not like a bunch of offensive options for me here. I mean, like I like the combat tricks that he has with Zoroark. That thing fucked me last season, so like I gotta respect it. I don't understand like normal teams enough to like make a balanced call, but like I don't think that this team is better than either Boston or Denver's team. So like I'm gonna have to put it like higher in B, but like still in B.
All right, so I'll chime in. I'm leaning more towards Vlad on this because so on top of having like your kind of like your defensive core, an option for a revenge killer, and all that other stuff that he mentioned. The only thing I will say though is he's kind of lacking coverage for his one weakness. I mean, Dragonite could have a flying type move, but I think fitting a Farigiraf or something of that nature in here would have been nice. I mean, you got the ghost typing to have an immunity, but you don't have anything super effective for fighting, which is your one weakness. Which, I mean, just like we talked about with electric, you have one weakness. You should be able to cover that weakness because you should be able to take care of everything else just fine. I mean, I think the team is structured fine. The one gripe I have with it is it just does not have, like, in my opinion, sufficient answers to its weaknesses. So I'm gonna also say low A, high B.
Pull the tier list back up. And like that's the thing. Like I don't think it's better than the Dragon team either. So like I also don't think it's better than your team, Vlad, to be honest, because like you do have to compare like what it's weak to on the board, and like I think your team is better into it, honestly. So like I'm gonna put it like right in between you and the Scrafties.
Okay.
All right, and B tier is getting B tier would be getting a little clunky if that's the case. Do we want to move something up or move something down, or do we want to keep it as is?
I still think that like either both Boston and Denver like deserve to bump up. In which case, like we would bump you up. No, I don't think B is like that cluttered. There's only 5 teams and we have 3 left. Let's just keep going.
Okay, fair enough.
And truthfully, that accounts
just
for the
it.
median.
Do you agree with this placement, Jules?
Yeah.
All right. All right. Go ahead. Go off. Explain your team.
I only have one thing to say. F for fairy. I don't know. Honestly, I have been so out of it that I didn't really get a lot of time to actually look into my team. I kind of just this was just given to me. So I have Magirna is honestly the only one that I was like I 100% needed on my team and that I wanted on my team because it's like Steel Fairy and that's fucking insane. Like I love that. And you like hit shift gear and you like boom. I have clef key for like screens, spikes. Um to be fair, I don't think I have any like really hazard removal, which is like something that I'm usually like, oh, you gotta have hazard removal. But I do have Hatterene with magic bound. So that's kind of my way of controlling that. You know, Azu does Azu things with huge power. Belly drum. Fluttermane is Fluttermane. And Espathra is Espathra. Literally, and then stab, Dazzling Gleam. Um kind of gets rid of its dark weakness, which is kind of what stops Espathra from doing Espathra things. And I usually Terra Espathra Fairy anyways. And with how fast it is, I don't know. I feel like that's standard. I give myself a B. B for basic. B for bad bitch. How about that? Okay. Somebody else talk.
Alex, go ahead.
B for bad bitch. Oh, Bessie, I do like your team. How come I just like I like Klefki, like I've used that before. And, like it's super annoying, and I totally get that. But like, I'm surprised that you didn't take like either Clefable or Iron Valiant. I mean, like I feel like Iron Valiant would have been like.
Oh.
I mean, like Clefable is like brand new, so like to be honest, I didn't fucking know we got that until I started wandering around the DLC, and like I know you didn't start it yet, so.
To
Fair,
be
but
fair,
like,
though, if she did take out Iron Valiant, it would have to be in place of Fluttermane.
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's fair. Never mind, I take that back. 100%.
And Fluttermane's the obvious choice.
Yeah, no, Fluttermane's there. That's fine. I mean, I do really like your team. Like, I think Azumarill is like a sleeper on a team where you already have like incredibly powerful offense. Like, I feel like no matter what you pick, because you picked Dragbird and Fluttermane, you were gonna do just fine. Hatterene, like Magic Bounce definitely counts for like hazard defense for the record, because like Hatterene is a fucking force. So like, I think you covered your bases well. Like minus not taking like you don't even get a defog option because we already talked about Enamorous not having it. Like, so, that's what you're gonna do, I think like, because you picked Fluttermane like instead of like Valiant, and like I totally understand that. Like I feel like you might have also benefited from like wheezing too, just to like be neutral to like one of your weaknesses, but like
Is wheezing fairy or
yeah, it's
like
fairy poison. The Galarian one.
I mean, if you're talking about the poison weakness, she's got 2 steel types.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
have
know. I mean, like she's
it.
covered it well enough already. Like I like this team, Bestie. Like you're better than a B. You're like A for awesome, like at least for me. So like, but I'm not trying to fangirl. I fucking promise you that. Like that's like straight up.
I mean, I fangirled over you, so it's
Like I mean, like it's like a constant thing, and like now I'm starting to get made fun of. But like I don't even care
No.
about it, to be honest. Like this is definitely like an A+ team for me. Like you did a great job, Bestie, and I'm happy you came into it.
Oh yeah, I wasn't going to, but here I am.
All right, Vlad, input.
Bully me! Do it!
Okay.
B for bully.
I mean,
B
like,
for
it's
bully.
hard.
Okay.
B for bully.
So Azumarill, the worst pick for a special attacker on the face of the planet. What were you thinking?
Ask my buddy.
Azumarill as a physical attacker would have been way better. Hatterene, I hope you run Magic Bounce on it, because if you don't, what are you doing?
I'm gonna run. Wait,
Magirna,
what other ability does it get? I'm
not
gonna
a
run
clue.
healer. I'm gonna run
It,
healer.
there you go, run healer, perfect.
Wow.
Fluttermane, you should have chosen Iron Valiant. It's clearly the better option, even
Yeah,
according to
you definitely
Smogan's
didn't.
stats.
You didn't say anything earlier about Fluttermane being.
Not a thing, and
You
if you never anything else, I didn't say anything else. Nope.
We got that on recording, right?
Yep.
Right, Kevin?
Yep.
Weird how you didn't take Fairy Plate Arceus, because that was like an option for people apparently.
Bagirda and Klefki, what are you trying to do? Negate the poison damage? Like, no, like pick literally anything else. You could have picked Sylveon in one of those places, like in Bagirda's place.
That's funny.
And Espathra, like this was your chance to run Fairy Plate Arceus, and you missed it.
Yeah, instead you'll take the speed boosting sweeper, like clearly fucking second tier.
Right? Like you got to do better.
Right. Yeah, I know. I do. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Once
There you
again,
go. There's
everyone fears Dragbird. Like it's what a fucking menace.
I think I balanced Alex out there really well. So
Oh yeah.
So
Okay,
I'll
cool.
actually
So,
be
yeah,
I'll actually be the unbiased party once it gets around to me. So
yes, exactly. So I'll agree with you. I'll put it. I would put this in B tier. I'm gonna have, if I have to face you this season, I'm gonna have a lot of difficulty with this team. I'm gonna have to pull like tricks out of my ass to make this team like break, and I don't even think I could do that.
What do you even do when she throws out Fluttermane? Do you like immediately concede the game, or?
I
mean, I guess
if I get past the Buttermane, I have like 2 Pokemon left. Like that's it. Because there isn't that, because like I had to put all those resources into like defeating Fluttermane, and then I've got to deal with everything else. Like
Yeah. Once again, like there's Lucario. Like I hope the bullet punch works out for you.
I hope so too. I'm really hoping hoping the Flash Cannon works.
Oh my god, I hate you so much. If it hits me with an Aura Sphere, I swear to god I'll kill myself. Like I'll concede right there if it hits me with a fucking special move. Like
all right, well, so I'm gonna, in the most unbiased way possible, I'm gonna say that this is an A tier team, and here's why. The one thing that this team does not have outside of hazard prevention, it doesn't have removal. So if Hatterene gets knocked out, or if she mispredicts and doesn't switch in the Hatterene on a hazard, then she's kind of boned. But regardless, I mean, she's got hazard. She's
boned.
I'm sure you do. It's great. But I mean, but the fact that Espathra is a menace on its own, we've talked about it. But this Espathra has screen support, and so those, assuming that's what she decides to do, she could big brain us and do something completely different. But assuming that she goes with like the stored power strat, with like screen support, that would be absolutely a menace. And then with stab, dazzling gleam to go on top of it, just to handle like the other what psychic can't hit, like that's gonna be ludicrous amounts of power. And even if she doesn't go that route, I mean, she could also go belly drum Azumarill with screen support, and that's also a problem. So I mean, yeah, this is definitely an A tier team for me. The one thing being, once hazards are up, if she didn't like bounce it back, she's gonna have a rough time. But that's like the only thing I can see wrong with this team. So I'm thinking A team, probably above.
Probably above the obvious type advantage dragon.
I'm not even talking about for the type advantage. I'm just talking about just
the team itself.
Yes.
Yes. Like still a yes.
I agree with that.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. I'm glad we're all on the same page. Moving on.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. So we're gonna start with Vlad.
I hate this team. It has 9 tails.
No.
Absolutely. If it had any other Pokemon on here, it would be a good solid B tier team, but instead it's an F tier because of 9 tails alone.
Why do you
it has
hate the
9.
fox?
It has 9 different tails, and yet it's still 9 different types of bitches. So it's terrible.
Wow,
That sounded
clearly
like
not
a
a Naruto fan
compliment.
at all. Like,
Holy shit! Okay. Alright. So trolling aside.
Arcanine, yeah, Arcanine, solid choice. Intimidate Arcanine, or what's his other ability? Flashfire.
Yes.
Good choice either way. I don't think he's going to be running into too many other fire type moves in the tournament. I mean, we got a few key trends running around as he has one of his own. But either way, and it gets that one move that removes its fire typing too, so that's pretty sweet. I think that's funny as shit. God, what's the move?
Oh god, I think it's burn up, I think.
Burn up, yep, burn up. So I think that's pretty neat. Ninetales for drought. I like it. It is what it is. You got Heatran things, Rotom Heat doing Rotom Heat things. Also, nice little immunity to the ground damage. Thanks to Levitate. You got Cinderace. I won't lie to you guys. I don't really like Cinderace as a Pokemon, but I also didn't play around with it enough to really build a liking to it. So take that as you will. And Volcanion, fire water type, I think, right?
Yep.
It's pretty funny. Yeah, I think it's pretty funny. I think it's a funny dog toy. But as the ace, I don't know. I think Heatran would have made a better ace personally, but that's just my opinion.
I cannot believe you just called Volcanion a dog toy.
I don't think any of these get burn up, by the way.
Arcanine used to. I don't know if it still does, but Arcanine definitely at one point used to get burnout.
No.
Is it not anymore?
No.
Oh. Well.
Oh damn. Well, man. Well, not that. That's now it's just mid. Like, imagine removing all of your weaknesses. Like, that's pretty sweet. But
Yeah.
Especially on something that can be as bulky as Arcanine is, like.
There's
Right?
like
if
burning
if that
jealousy.
Arcanine is anything else but Morning Sun Arcanine, like some kind of bulky, like good boy, like then it has no business being on this team. I'm gonna be honest. Like,
I agree. I agree. But
Bestie, I know
it's
you're gonna hate me here, but like, why is that Ninetales not Torkoal?
No, I feel like Ninetales probably shouldn't be on this team, but Ninetales as a Pokemon is incredible and my favorite.
Oh yeah, no one's questioning that, but like that should be if Turtle. Where's my
It should
turdy?
be not Ninetales, probably. I do
Yeah.
prefer a Alolan Ninetales over regular Ninetales, at least competitively.
agreed.
But that the only reason I just didn't want you guys to shit on the Pokemon in general. As a team, I don't agree with Ninetales being on this team.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'll be honest, like, Vlad, like, because like you haven't played with it, like I think like Cinderace is one of the better picks on this team. I mean, like it's like one of the few options he has like available to him to like court change away like entry hazards. Like it's very fast and very strong. Like Cinderace is like a really good pick.
And it also
Like,
gets Libero.
yeah, and like it's like Protean basically. Like it's
Yeah,
its own
and
ability.
I'll
Like
take your and I'll take your word for that on the ranking, because I was going to give this a solid B tier pick for this because I don't know anything about Cinderace.
yeah, no, I mean
So.
like that was just to answer you. Like I mean like Cinderace is probably like one of the strongest picks on this team. I like Volcanion, but I would like it more if he wasn't using it as an ace. I feel like it's better for him like as like a like as a dual typing, you know what I mean? Like it gets water absorbs, like it's good no matter what he does, but it would be better. I feel like Fire is like another team that's like hard to do, because it's like another team that's weak to rock entry, and it's like Fire has a lot of weaknesses. So like this is one of the teams that would have benefited a lot more from an ace outside of its typing, because like some teams we've ranked like really well and like they've had like good aces like in their own typings, but like I feel like you kill the Volcanion as like making it the fire ace. I love that he has Rotom Heat. Like Rotom Heat's incredible here. Like really trying to fight the ground weakness and like respect. Like that's a nod there. I guess like him not picking Torkoal might be because it's quad weak to Earthquake, but honestly, I don't even think you care. Like, I think you run it anyways, like, because Heatran's already quad weak to it, so, like, you do what you do. Like, I feel like I feel like Torkoal might have been, like, a better ace for that, just to be mono fire.
Torkoal is mono fire already, my guy.
Oh, I thought it was Fire Rock.
No. You're thinking of Matt
I
Cargo.
always think it's... Yes, I always think that it's Fire Rock. Anyways, I'm bad at this game. But, like, I don't know. Like, he's got, like, outside of the Heatran here, he has no bulk. Like, Volcanion's not, like, not frail, but it's not, like, a bulky Pokemon. Like, the Ninetales, like, especially, like, Cantonian Ninetales, kind of, like, locked into, like, a focus sash position in my mind. So, like, that thing's gonna die after it puts the sun up. So, like, you're, like, less weak to water moves for a few turns, and then, like, it's a singles game, so we're going minimum, like, 30 minutes, because that's how we play the game. And then what do you do? Because it's already dead. You're gonna, like, auto set up the sun? Like, I do not like this team. I feel like didn't do enough to cover and like of its weaknesses outside of a levitating like Rotom. I feel like like I feel like he might have benefited more from like Armor Rogue or something like that. Like something bulkier. Like again, like that's why I was saying like unless he's like Morning Sun Arcanine, I don't know what it's doing because like the team's not going to survive because like yeah, Heatran's a great special wall, but like Rotom itself is bulky too, so like that's definitely an option for him. But like I don't think this team's like getting anywhere, like especially if he's like a choice item on the Protean user, there's like too many loopholes and like the whole team is glass. So like I don't know, it's not really doing it for me.
All right, Jules, do you want to take it or do you want me to take it?
Well, I don't feel like the team's that bad. Like I like Volcanion. I mean, I kind of agree. I don't really like using like Pokemon of the same type as an ace unless it's like stab reasons, I guess. And I guess Ninetales is being used for like I'm hoping Drought and not Flash Fire because it'd be really weird if you use Flash Fire on Ninetales. But I agree, like Torkoal is kind of like a better Sunsetter. And I don't know. I've never actually used Ninetales like regular Ninetales competitively. I've only ever used like Alolan Ninetales. So maybe I'm just unaware of what it could do. And I think Baton Pass is like banned, right? Or is it like
it's limited to one Pokemon, so there's no Baton Pass chains or anything like
that. Okay, but I guess Ninetales can use Baton Pass. Does Torkoal get Baton Pass? Anyone know?
No, Torkoal cannot Baton Pass.
No.
So I guess I could see that. I could see the Baton Pass after, like Drought or something.
Like, I think it gets Nasty Plot. Like normal Ninetales, like Nasty Plot, Flamethrower, like that's like a normal like sun setting. Like I have used it. I have used it on Sun teams before, like back in Gen 6 when like it was that and like Mega Charizard Y on a team. Like it's like it's fine. I mean, like I just think the team is like too frail to like stand up against like even games where it's got type advantage, Like there's not a lot of like he doesn't have a lot of dual typings, which like I guess kind of helps because he's not like expanding the weakness pool, but like he's not expanding his offensive pool either. And like, Ninetales is not bulky. It's just there to like, set up the sun and maybe like Baton Pass a Nasty Plot if it can like survive for that long. But then like, Cinderace is not bulky. Like again, like Rotom is, but like if he has nothing really to cover like Heatran's fighting weakness either, because like the rest of his team's just like taking neutral damage, and like most of his team doesn't want to take a neutral physical hit because they're glass. So like it's maybe I'm wrong. I mean, like maybe I'm like underestimating, like, if it is bulky Arcanine with Intimidate, like there's like a lot of ways to get around it. But like, like as I look at this
Yeah.
team, like I'm not like, I'm not like wowed by this. Like Fire's like, again, like Fire's like kind of hard, but like I would have liked to have seen like, I don't know, like Volcarona's not here. There's no way to remove hazards unless he's running Rapid Spin on Heatran.
Cinderace
And
has
again,
court change.
oh yeah, and the core change. But like core change is like gimmicky, because like it's got to survive. Like if it gets killed by
Yeah,
like a stab
and like
move beforehand.
I'm not saying it's like a great team, but I'm not saying it's not like as awful as you're saying it is. Like I feel
I'm
like it could
sorry,
definitely
like
do something.
I don't think like it's like a D tier team. Like it's not like that. Like I just like I don't know. It's not wowing me.
I feel like if this was draft, like they could probably make like a couple of choices that probably would have helped them a little bit, but I don't know. I mean, like I don't hate the team, and like if they want to set up with Ninetales and then Baton Pass into like Cinderace or something, or like Volcanion, whatever, Heatran, whatever. Like I can see
Hey,
where you'd want to go with this, but
yeah, I'm
maybe like
again.
I see.
If I get blasted by this, like that's totally fine. Like I'm more than ready to eat my own words, like because I've again blasted by like stupider things. So like like it's not like I think this team is stupid or anything. Like I just like it's another one of those like I feel like you could have picked like better options and it would have been like easily like a better team for me. So like like yeah, I'll probably get blown out by this, but like as I look at it right now, like it's like a high C low B team for me.
The only thing that I'm gonna say about it, um, someone brought up Volcarona, and yes, I truly believe Volcarona should have been somewhere on this team because, quite frankly, Volcarona is like one of the best fire types to use for monotype, in general. But I think we might be slightly underestimating the bulk because I'm seeing Will-O-Wisp aplenty, and with Steam Eruption having a 30% chance to burn just like Scald. I mean, you could run like special defense investment, and you'd have a really tanky set of mons here. I definitely agree that Torkoal probably would have been better than Ninetales, but with that being said, Ninetales could also run a fast support set with things like Encore and just things like that. Like if someone wants to lead off with rocks, cool, Encore them into rocks, swap into Cinderace, and then court change, you give them the rocks, and you're just off to the races. Um, I do like the I do like how he's covering his weaknesses with the Rotom Volcanion core. Water Stab to cover rock and ground. Rotom covering ground and water as well with the electric typing. Um, so I do like that aspect of it. He does have hazard control, or he does have hazards of his own with Heatran. Um, so I don't know. I think the bulk of the team might have been slightly overlooked and underestimated. Um, but I think I would have liked to have seen Volcarona on here and Torkoal instead of Ninetales, but that's like my main gripe with it. Um, other than that, I would say low B. That's probably where I'd put it. I don't know if y'all concur, but
I concur there. Like I'm more than willing to eat
Yeah,
my own
low.
words at any point. Like if I'm underselling the bulk, then that's what I'm doing. Like, but I have no gripes with it in low B. Like it's not a terrible team, and I like don't like want it. Like
all right. And
Yeah, I
then
like it in low B as well.
so are we thinking like before or after the Rock team?
I like the Rock team a little bit more. I'll be honest.
So do we want to do we want to keep B tier as it is? Do we want to move some A tiers up? How do we want? We got one team left, so if we're gonna make any changes, now's the time.
Um,
We need to move
I don't know, I
something.
kind of want to argue for top of seeds here for this team, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
fighting you.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think top of seeds here is probably more appropriate for it because there are clearly better choices that could have been made, and just the glaring weaknesses. Just I don't know, they're just kind of hard to escape. So
Okay. All right, last one, and we are going to give the floor to Alex.
This is a cool water team. I won't lie to you. I'm a shameless Toxapex stan because it is toxic and so am I. I like Urshifu fighting. Rapid Strike's really good. Anything that gets around Focus Sash gets an A+ from me always. I like Greninja. You know, like I'm running Greninja too. Like good Pokemon. We talked about Walking Wake on the Dragon team. It's a sleeper. It's like haunting Jules's dreams. We literally just talked about Volcanion. I like it here too. Like it helps fight his grass weakness. The Jolteon, like I've got to assume is there for Volt Absorb. I mean that's cheeky. Uh, you know, I don't think it's like the best ace you could have picked, but like I get it. That's cool. Outside of Toxapex though, there's like no bulk on this team. Like it's like talked about like Walking Wake being like mid-size hefty. Like I'd probably put Volcanion like in that range, maybe a little bit more bulky. But like, you know, Greninja's glass, Jolteon glass, uh Urshifu water, like, you know, again, like glassy. Um you Toxapex is really good. I don't know if you can put like your entire defensive backing on Toxapex. I would have liked to have probably seen like a bulky water Pokemon just to like completely knock out your electric weakness because you're also backing it 100% on Volt Absorb Jolteon, which is not great. This is like a B, like a solid B for me, like middle of the road maybe, B tier.
All right, Jules.
I'm so tired.
Last one. Hang in there.
Okay. Well, one, they don't have hazard removal. Also, he was so excited about his team. I do want to say that.
Does Toxapex like not get Rapid Spin? I thought it did.
No.
No.
Nope.
Oh,
Gets Ice Spinner, but that's like terrain, not really.
he has no hazard removal?
No
No.
hazard
Oh
removal.
my gosh. All right. Wow. Okay. That's hooey, Squidward.
Yeah, so that kind of takes down like if you wanted to use like a focus sash or something. So I don't know. I feel like it's kind of like I actually do like Jolteon. You know, I like the Volt Absorb, whatever, and Jolteon is a good Pokemon, and it's a fast Pokemon. I don't know how the rest of the speed kind of. Yeah, I mean his speed is kind of like mid. And then he has the Protean for Greninja, so it's like it's another team where like all the Pokemon individually are like minus Toxapex. I don't know. I've never seen. Well, I guess Regenerator. More like just a hazard setup, pretty much. Urshifu is scary for anything. I don't care what anybody has to say. I don't like having to fight a big bear.
Yeah, Urshifu is scary as fuck.
I've been watching a lot of competitive, and Urshifu is just ugh. But to be fair, also in those competitive things, is like terrestrialization is like a huge thing, and some Pokemon are like they kind of rely on terrestrialization a little bit, but eh. Oh, what is it doing about its ground? Like water's right? Am I crazy?
It's weak to electric and grass
And grass, okay. For
And
some reason,
freeze
I always
dries.
think that water.
and freeze dry.
Well, yeah, guys. Oh God, ow. Freeze dry is literally gonna just eat up this team, huh?
Well, who knows if anybody even has it, but like,
But, you know,
oh,
what if they do?
that he's fucked.
All right, so
Yeah,
where would you rank it?
I don't know, like C, I guess.
Yeah, no hazard removal is an auto C because that's where we
C
put
for
Cole.
common. Common.
Wow. Vlad, what's your input?
Um, um,
As the former water expert yourself.
right. I mean, the team, I've used both Urshifu, Rapid Strikes, and Toxapex on my mono water team. They're both great Pokemon. I do like the way that they both feel. Greninja, um, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Protein Greninja on this team specifically. I think it's a good Pokemon. I think I don't know. I'm like half and half on it with it. Walking Wake is a great Pokemon. I even now in tired state, I see where it's absolutely terrifying. Um, Volcanion though, like if Jolteon's going to be the ace, Volcanion can't be on this team. I think I would have picked a different water type. I would have, because the Toxapex taking the entire defensive core on its back is a tall order. I probably hmm, I would not have minded seeing maybe Cloyster on the team. Is Cloyster in this game?
I,
Now that I think about it,
I think it was added in
Yeah.
DLC. Yeah, I think so.
I'm pretty sure it
I don't
was.
even think.
Yeah,
I think
yeah, it
it
is in
wasn't
this
even.
game.
Yeah, but I don't know if that was even. Was it added in DLC? I thought it was just in the game.
Was it?
Yeah,
Hmm. It might have been.
yeah. So, I mean, I would have picked Cloyster over Volcanion in that instance. I mean, Skill Link and Icicle Spear takes care of that grass weakness, and it's been a reasonably decent Pokemon for a little while now, especially in singles. Um,
Then doesn't
I,
Cloyster still get Rapid Spin too?
yeah. Let me check. Actually, on the page
It
right now.
does not.
Doesn't? It used to.
It does not.
Unfortunate.
No, it does not. Man, so many Pokemon.
What is happening?
But it does get spikes and toxic spikes. So I mean, that could have been its own hazards.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh,
but yeah,
poor Alex.
so it's either Jolteon on the team, swap out Volcanion for Cloyster, either for a defensive boost or for the skill link, or take Jolteon out as the ace and put anything else onto the team for that. Either something
Oh,
that initially takes care of that.
Quaquaval is the Quaquaval and Tatsugiri are the only two that get Rapid Spin water type.
Then I would have picked Quaffleval over Greninja then, in that case.
Yeah.
I would have to agree. I think it's a C tier team. It's just, I don't know. Putting the entire defensive core on Toxapex's back is kind of a risky choice, in my opinion.
I would tend to agree. The only thing I would say is, I said it, I forgot what team I said it for, but I said there was like two. I think it was the electric team that they could have made like two swaps and it would have brought it from like a C to like a B, but this one would have brought it from like a D to like a high A S tier for me. And that's if he would have swapped the Volcanion and the Greninja for like Pelipper and Quagsire.
Yep.
Because that would have get that would have
Those two would have
that would
been
have
great too.
that would have given him rain, that would have given him hazards, that would have given him a strong defensive core to cover his only two weaknesses being grass and electric. 100% accurate hurricanes, unaware Quagsire, to deter setup sweepers, like that would have made this team in like an S tier team for me. But because it's lacking that rain, because it's lacking the hazards and the hazard removal, I'm thinking I have to agree with you guys. It's a C for me. But
Right.
where in C?
I'd probably put it on par with the fire team in all honesty.
So ahead or behind? I'm thinking behind just because at least the fire team has its weather.
Yeah, I think behind's fair.
All right, well, I guess that'll do it then.
That's the tier list.
That's the
Woof.
tier list. It only took almost
That was
3
a-
hours.
That was a trek, dude. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay,
well.
I'm so ready for bed.
All right, well, we will cut it off here then. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for the coaches who joined me this evening to do this tier list. We definitely appreciate you, and we look forward to seeing y'all when we start uploading the Monotype Gym Leader battle videos, which will be on this channel. Peace out, y'all.
Goodbye.